Boop, boop. Hello?
Boop, boop.
Boop.
Hello.
Did it.
Yeah.
Hiya. Hi, Roxy. Hi,
Hiya.
Adam. Thanks for the resubs, Doxy Katie. Appreciate it.
Yeah, well.
It's funny how like 2 weeks of no D&D makes me feel so out of practice.
Yeah, it's
I
like, how do
know.
we do this?
I feel so rusty, and it's only been a
Wait,
little
we're
while.
D&D? Oh no.
Is this thing on? Yeah.
I've been doing all sorts of lovely, wonderful prep, but it's also been for like end game stuff or even next game stuff. So we'll see how well prepared I am for the day session. But we'll feel confident about it for now. We'll
So
see.
you're saying we could skip to the next game right now with just a couple of spells?
I could wing it.
Oh.
I cast Fireball at the crowd 3 times.
The crowd.
The crowd, look at that. Okay. Welcome everybody. Let's play some HBA. As you are probably aware, Sewers 3.0. Yeah. We'll do the next one. Will be starting in
Only sewers.
Only sewers.
I've
Listen,
experienced the joy of sewers, so I'd appreciate it.
Listen, Suzale has sewers.
Oh,
There's still time.
There's still
It's
time.
unlocked.
I just said it as a just
Sightseeing tour.
actually want to go in the sewers.
Well, we'll see. We'll see about it. Right. Well, what we'll do is we'll do a little bit of a recap of what happened last game because, like I said, it feels like a million years ago, even though it wasn't. Before we do, let's remind ourselves of what the prompt is for this week because we like to make sure our players are back in the heads of their characters. What's our prompt this week?
What did I say our prompt was? Our prompt is... just scroll. It is, what would your character do to lull themselves to sleep on a sleepless night?
I like it. We could all communally put together some support resources for those of us who are struggling with their sleep. Cool. That's what our thing is. I don't know what you guys have got planned for the inn this week, in case you'd forgotten that exists. Whilst I do a very brief recap, our last session started with looting. We are currently in the city of Suzale, and we had teleported in rather than walking through the gates like some lowly peasants. And we had arrived in this tower because it used to belong to our comrade, our friend, Eleron Bella. So Eleron is a wizard, or was a war wizard who had a grand spot in this city, but then was teleported away and imprisoned due to a game of the deck of many things with Hilda, Oro's mama. Now, you guys were poking around in here, emptying it out because it had been occupied in the time that he'd been gone, and pilfering a couple of goodies, as well as finding some notes, etc., from the people who had been living here for some time. You had just found the notes on like the body of the wizard who was living in here, as well as a wand of his. There was a broken sort of control rod that Haiku had found, some metal apparatus that indicated perhaps it was to do with Sally, as well as a couple of notes that read things like, the Artificers Guild might be able to help Sally, but not sure they'd give her back. Artificers tend to keep their toys. Maybe she deserves a rest. And other notable things like notes that describe, we're drip feeding him. He can't live off scraps forever, so he'll need this old stuff to pay the bills eventually. We can rinse him for it. Take a box once a month and act like we've just found it. Make sure to get the best price you can. Threaten to take the goods elsewhere if you need to. I'm sure there's some student at the college whose parents will pay for them, but they're not that desperate. And so on and so forth. A couple of the miscellaneous bits and bobs. We then left Eleron at the tower whilst he cleans things up a little bit, as he's willing to hand over ownership of this tower to you guys. He said, listen, if you're going to go knocking on the door of my tower to help him take it back, let me know and I'll tag along. Otherwise, go explore the city. You guys stepped outside, and almost the first shop that you bumped into was called the Gotcha Pawn Shop. Pawn is a tiny little gachapon shop, which is, i.e., spending a little bit of money, getting a random item back. You guys spent a shit ton of money in there. That was way more successful at emptying your purse than I expected. I'd love to have known the grand total of money that you spent, but all I know is that you emptied out the very cheap Gachapon and spent an awful lot of money on the super shinies. You found some awesome stuff in there, including a jazzy jacket, which increases your charisma by 2, but gives you a stealth disadvantage. With a maximum of
doesn't
20.
increase it.
Very
yeah.
sad. Very sad. And a saddle that bestows the mounted combat feat on the rider. A fabric circle that you can use to make a hole. And an animated garden gnome called Nublet.
Oh yeah, Nublet.
I'd forgotten about Nublet. What else did we get from in here? There's all sorts of good
I got a
stuff.
saddle?
There's loads of stuff that you guys. Yeah, I've just read out the saddle. You
Oh,
also
sorry.
got a voucher for the 1x massage at the upturned turtle,
Oh yeah.
and a sending stone that auto tunes, a finger skateboard that animates itself, a postcard from Waterdeep signed by Elminster, and some other good bits and bobs. And that was where we ended our session. In fact, we actually went overtime on that one because you guys were having so much fun opening the little random doodads.
We did.
Tom, you can't give the party a hole. There's so much chaos to be had. It's a single-use hole. Don't worry. It's a single-use hole. It's a single-use hole that will make a 6-inch hole 5 foot in diameter. One time. There was also a potion in there that was gobbled up, not literally, by Athale, which refills your highest level spell slot, which is a nice one.
Yeah.
There's some risk reward here, you know, spending a lot of money, not knowing what you're going to get. Sometimes you get some good shit. Other times you get mud. Which is what happened. Although that was the very cheap one.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's where we ended our.
Sometimes you
our
get
last
vitamins. You know.
session. There was a thing, wasn't there? What was that?
Multi-statamin.
The
Set any
multi-statamin.
ability score to 20 for the day. I got that
Pretty
one.
good. That's pretty good.
That's really good.
And then we ended our game and we had a little bit of a break and we're back. So, before we begin our game, why don't we talk a little bit about the prompt?
The way I think Oro tries to tire herself out if she can't sleep, I think she literally fucking sprints around whatever place she's in. Like, she's like, I need to just get get all my energy out, and she just fucking legs it, and Nugget usually joins her, and they just fucking leg it in a circle around a building for hours until they
zooming.
Exactly. I love
Just
that.
like straight into the bed and then fall down, fall asleep.
Yeah, done.
Amazing.
Also very on brand.
Mhm.
Perfect for Oro. Any other suggestions?
I think Neurali would imagine, now that she knows who her mom is and what she looks like, she would imagine a bunch of times that she got to hang out with her mom and have nice conversations and have like mother-daughter bonding time to like relax her.
Very sweet. That's very
cute.
sweet.
Haiku will go into their shell. All shell, no thoughts.
Does Haiku usually sleep in the shell?
No? No.
Oh,
He
okay.
would sleep like a normal humanoid.
Okay. It reserves the shell for
Either defense or peace.
last ditch attempt. Love it. Love it.
So Athale doesn't actually sleep. He enters a trance,
True.
being elven of descent.
Mhm.
But I imagine that's like it's like a meditation type thing, and sometimes it's got too much stuff going on to be able to enter that kind of mind space. And so he uses Scythe as a white noise generator.
Just hissing in your ear.
Yeah, just hissing
That's
and
really
or just
funny.
like sliding across the ear to make like just a constant sound.
That's really funny.
ASMR.
That's really funny, Docs.
ASMR.
That's so
Love
good. Round of applause for Docs there. That's clever.
Job dogs.
That's funny. Excellent, wonderful. And what's happening at the tavern that we own this week?
I have a dumb idea, unless anyone else
I'll have a
has
dumb
it.
idea.
I love it.
Do it.
This week they held a fancy wagon show. You know, like there's fancy car shows where people bring their like neat old
Whoa.
cars.
Yeah.
Everyone's bringing their like cool wagons and like showing off, and everyone's like looking around. And then we've got like refreshments and whatever, and people can hang out and meet up.
That's cool. I like it.
Amazing.
It generates.
Some have flames on the side.
Yeah.
One of them's bouncing up and down on its wheels.
Yeah.
It generates you 14 gold.
Oh yeah.
There are some hardcore cart, lovers out there.
Cart enthusiasts.
Cart enthusiasts. And,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they sunk some cash. Wonderful. Okay. Well, we start today's game with you guys stepping out of the gotcha pawn shop, leaving those little kobolds behind, feeling pretty satisfied. Feeling like, that was a good use of time and money.
Mhm.
Now, on the docket for today, we had some thoughts about what we wanted to do. Eventually, we want to try and make our way over to the old, where Elrond's tower is. Now, fortunately for you guys, you were given a map. When Elrond arrived in the tower, he brought you a little map that had been written up by Hilda. And on that map, she had identified a couple of different places. She had identified... where are the places I've written? School of Ogma, Palace's Treasures of Thentia, which she'd given you a discount code, Hilda10 at checkout. The Six Candles, the Golden Goblin, Zelk's Apothecary, Grove of Heather, the Emerald Spire, and the Tower of Argul. You guys had some of those on your map. And I'm just trying to find all the ones that I haven't already added. I think I've added them all. Good. So you should know where you're sort of going. There are some thoughts about what you had on your list. You've got like an active... you've had a bunch of different sort of hints at sort of quests that you could be doing whilst you're in Suzale, and I'm not going to handhold you too much. I'm going to kind of let you explore and poke and prod around those quests as you'd like. But what we were doing at the end of the last session, you guys had said that you wanted to go and register for a wizard's license, essentially just saying, "Hi, I'm here in town. I'm a spellcaster." As you know, in Suzale, they like to try and keep track of any spellcasters that are in the city at any given time, because they feel quite strongly that you should not have an awful lot of wizards just hanging around when they have mind-bending powers. This is any spellcaster. This is really designed for kind of like primary spellcasters, more so than secondary spellcasters.
Did
That's
we
what you guys
decide
wanna
whether
do.
we were going to use disguises and do fake names? I know we had a whole conversation about it, but I don't remember what the outcome was. There were a couple people with really strong feelings.
Yeah, I think we can't really do disguises. I think Aura really wants to, but I think it won't work. You might as well just go whole hog.
It's so busy, we'll blend in.
The hope.
Looks at our group and
Alright.
our aesthetics.
I know.
We'll blend in.
Blending is not something we do well.
Yeah, but have we ever been in a city this size before?
That's
Yeah,
true.
got you.
I've literally never been in a city this size.
Yeah.
From being in Suzale before, how many goblins and turtles have I seen?
So this is very kind of cosmopolitan in that it is awfully kind of mixed here. There are peoples of all species, all races, all colours of creeds throughout the whole city. and you're confident that there is a good chance that you'll be able to mix in. However, giant bats,
Less common.
less common.
So should Nugget wear the glasses? The ones with the big nose.
Ah,
Oh my god, could Nugget have a humanoid form?
Oh no.
I mean, technically.
I want to know what. Oh no. Oh, sorry. I'm dying.
Just please mute yourself before you.
I want to know what. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be rude. I want to know what Nugget would look like as a human or like a humanoid.
Hmm.
It would be based on what Nugget would imagine, right? Sorry, go
I'm
ahead.
choosing to believe it's Nugget's head is exactly the same, just the body is a person's.
That would be really funny.
God, Nugget plushie would be so good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think we're gonna have to think about it because my brain says it because he's got a Scottish accent. So maybe he's got to be like fluffy like a bat, and he's got to have like some sort of yellow on him. But maybe he's like ginger
He's a
instead.
super hairy. Yeah,
Yeah.
super hairy ginger.
Yeah.
I would have gone like keep the white hair aesthetic going on.
Yeah.
Really, really pale white guy. Very like tall and
Massive
slender.
blonde mustache.
With really, really like white blonde hair.
Who's just a little bit jaundiced.
Tiny bit jaundiced.
I had a whole conversation with some people yesterday about how white-haired twinks are my weakness, so we can't make Nugget too hot.
That would be problematic. But yes, you had decided that going full stealth mode would be unrealistic. Unrealistic for you. You'd hoped that the crowds had kind of helped you blend in a little bit. You were just planning on not drawing too much attention to the fact you were here, knowing full well that the news will come out eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jig will eventually be. It's true. Charlie was there for that conversation.
So is that where we're going first? No, we're going towards. Okay, we are.
I think we were heading towards there and then stopping at the Gachapon place along the way. And then we just never left the Gachapon place.
And then 2 hours passed us by.
Okay, so we're going to the promenade, as it were. And when we're walking down this is the big main road down through the center of the city. I'm going to write down the promenade so we can remember. There we go. Oh, that's my tokens. That should be on the map. There you go. We're walking down the promenade and we're making our way towards, do we say the court so that we can register ourselves?
Yep.
Wonderful. Okay. So just for my own record, so I can, if we're gonna have a route through the city, we just pick a random route. You can pick a purposeful route if you'd like, but then I can tell you any particular like notable shop names that you walk past, that kind of thing. So if we're currently at the Gachapon, where are we off to? Yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll try it.
Oh, I thought
I didn't understand what any of y'all said because you all said it at the same time, so I was waiting for someone to clarify.
I said, should we draw it?
Can we go
Okay,
that
cool.
way? Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's
just a tree. Just a tree. it's fine.
Yeah.
We walk under.
So you walk past. Oh, you've already seen this one, I suspect. Otherwise, I would be able to click it. The Willing Smile. And you eventually make your way past the Wailing Wheel.
What's the willing smile, by the way?
The Willing Smile appears to be a brothel.
I was gonna say that name tells me. Can't imagine it being anything.
Bear in
else.
mind that I picked this map up and inherited an awful lot of its contents from the Forgotten Realms wiki. You would be surprised at how many brothels there were in the city to begin with.
No,
and
I wouldn't.
I haven't cut all of them out. There are a fair number of them. But you walk past the Wailing Wheel, which appears to be an extremely comprehensive and friendly, accessible cheese shop of giant proportions. You find yourself on the promenade. Visit one final addition we have here. This is the Bold Archer. That has a sign with a individual with a bow hunting a wolf. It appears to be a members only tavern.
Mm.
Exclusive.
Now I want to go in even more.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's how they get you.
Mhm.
So, as you meet the mouth of the promenade, you see that this is a bustling city. The noises that you'd heard, the droning, quiet, kind of rustling of noises of people going about their day in the previous sets of streets, suddenly the volume is turned up 600%. There is non-stop traffic from the front to the end of the promenade, as far as you can see. The gates behind you, the Horn Gate, are currently open, and there are milling of pedestrians in and out, as well as carts of all shapes and sizes, all sorts of different peoples, genders, and professions are milling around in the city, entering and exiting. As they are largely moving into the city, you see them starting to peel off down into various side roads or filter themselves into different shops. But as people go in, others come out, and it becomes a hustle and bustle very readily. The smells that you can pick up on as you're traveling through the city ebb and flow as they do throughout the entirety of this promenade. But now, getting an awful lot of melted cheese poured over what appear to be chips, like fried potato. But every kind of now and again, you will walk past a street and you'll have a hit of a new scent. You suspect that in part that's from the sea breeze kind of funneling its way down these different streets and hitting you with a new scent every time it does so. Now, we're going to go through this street, and there are an awful lot of buildings on here that are named. We are not going to name them all, simply because you have a couple of them already, but also because if you come up and down here, you'll find some more as you go. This is going to just kind of emulate the experience of somebody traveling through a city. You're not going to recognize every single shop as you go through. You might clock the majority of shops, I think. Okay. So as you're going along the streets, you see the 6 candles, which you've already got on your list of potential places to explore. And you can, as you kind of peer through the roads to your northeast, just about see the spires of the College of War Wizards in the far, far north of the city. This is made quite apparent because it is multicolored, and this is something that has been seen, at least in passing, by Ethael whilst he was here. Though he might not have visited, he would have seen the many spires that are coming off of the College of the War Wizards, the different colours that they have. As you continue your path down, you do eventually make it to the upturned portal. Now, as you do so, you find these kind of small little booths that are each selling newspapers, and in those newspapers kind of stalls, you see a sort of town crier. This is a young teenage kind of masculine presenting person who has the proper like old school like newspaper cap thing going on, and they are not so much town crying as much as they are trying to sell a newspaper. They are holding up a broadsheet, and they have a stack next to them. You can read it on the top. It says "The Daily Drake," with some additional kind of text underneath it. Walls and walls and walls of text, as well as some some kind of like drawn images. But what you do see is the headline reads, "Unrest in Sembia settled overnight. Trade talks to reopen." Now, as you are looking around, you see to your south the Upturned Turtle Inn. This is the Upturned Turtle, not the Upturned Turtle. The Upturned Turtle. This appears to be a small and modest tavern that is looking a little bit poorly repaired. It looks quiet. It looks like nobody's really gone in for a while. Like they might be struggling. To the north, however, something draws the attention of Haiku. There is a small sign that's kind of dangling off of one of the buildings, pointing to the northern alleyway, that reads something that catches your eye specifically. It says, "The sachet away."
I mean, because
The people who have seen RuPaul's Drag Race immediately light up.
It draws my eye more than the Upturned Turtle does. I mean, crikey.
It's important that you know the name.
Like that.
Amazing.
Yeah. It gets
Alright,
better.
Oh, that's slightly wrong.
What you looking at, Haiku?
Oh, the sachet away. Over there.
What's that mean?
Dude.
Is that more circus talk?
No, it's a fashion shop.
Fashion?
Yeah, you know, clothes and whatnot.
Oh.
Bit like the Gotchapon place, but without the complete randomness of it. Although I did enjoy that, of course. Yeah.
So a shop.
Uh,
I've been in a shop.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
not.
yeah. It's not,
Okay.
it's not just any shop. It's it's the sachet away.
What's so special about it?
We should go. I think
Yeah.
we should go.
I mean, I would like to go.
Alright.
You lot don't have to come with me necessarily.
No, I
no,
would like
I
to go.
think we should go together.
I think we should
Okay,
register first.
just yeah. Keep your mouth closed.
What?
Just certain things maybe just don't bring up. You know, like murdering a noble in a bar, etc. Yada yada yada. Stuff like that. Okay.
Don't know why I would talk about that at all.
Well, I would, but I wouldn't be here.
Okay.
I thought Nerly literally has like a book of notes out, and she's like opened it to the page of the notes that she took about the Aarakocra fashion book because of the like conversation or sign she got from Ogma or whatever, and was so sure that Haiku was like pointing it out to her for that reason. It is just like so confused right now. Quietly puts the book away. Okay.
I mean, yeah. You know, let's go. I'll introduce you all.
Should we register first and then come back? I think that's what Athale wants to do. Which makes sense. I don't want them to get mad at us.
Yeah. Legally, you know.
Yeah.
I suppose.
But we can go there next.
Yeah. It's right down there.
Follow the rules so well.
Okay. Well, we continue onwards then, eastward throughout the town, away from the Royal Baths, which is just here to your north. Bank. And further into the town. As we pass eastward, we see to our north here the Royal Court. The Royal Court is an extremely over-the-top building in that it is very, very clear that it is linked to the royal family. It is outlandish in its pageantry, but you note immediately from the imposing figure of the castle in the background that it is most likely not actually being visited by very many royals. and that it is more of a hub for legality than it is anything to do with the royal family in itself. You see that there are petitioners kind of queued out of the door as they are all dressed in their most noble attire. You can conclude that many of them are expecting to be seen by somebody very important very shortly. However, you don't see the queue moving very much. You see that there are two wings either side of the main building, and that fortunately you've got Ithale with you, who's had to do this before. You know that the western wing is the area that you would go to register your presence in the city. You also know, thanks to Ithale's having done this before, that there is a different queue that does not appear to be coming out the door. You can probably just enter and make your way there.
Why are these people
Are we
queuing?
supposed to be dressed nice?
Ooh.
Both of us ask questions to Ithale at the same time, I imagine.
No. This is not that kind of affair here. It is only if you wish to speak to someone important, like a magistrate.
Okay.
They expect many adventurers to come in here, so they will not be surprised by our looks.
Okay. Sweet.
That makes it sound like there's something wrong with our looks. They have a problem with how we're looking right now?
Does Haiku wear clothing?
Kiss.
No, I'm not saying at you if they all think there's something wrong with our looks. It's just, do they think there's something wrong with our looks?
No.
Like, be self-conscious?
Do you think we look like the people in this queue right now?
No, but we've probably done more of our lives than they ever have.
Shh.
We should go.
Immediately you see a very fucking frustrated-looking nobleman turn towards you.
Don't you know I'm a noble? And everyone
Looks
holds Haiku's arms
straight
down.
down your nose.
Do I see this noble person?
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Oh, it wasn't anything personal against you. It's more just your type.
Oh,
You're not making it better, Haiku.
Well, we're different. This was a different
There's
background.
riff-raff
No,
around here. Anyone can get in this bloody building.
That's awfully rude.
Ah! Ah! Get out of my earshot.
Play.
We're trying really quietly. Haiku, we're trying not to draw attention to ourselves.
I didn't mean to.
I know you didn't. I know.
Trying and just not very well.
Scurry Haiku along.
Sure. You enter the royal court. Up some giant stairs you manage to go through into the building itself. You're identifying a very clear purple theme with the vast majority of these royal buildings. And as you step into the court itself, you can no longer see this imposing castle in the background, but you do see the many banners that are kind of unfurled throughout. You quickly see in front of you this giant staircase that leads up into what you can only imagine is the larger courts, that you are absolutely not invited to. And you can see that this queue is being very slowly kind of dispensed through various kind of staff clerks who are having to deal with the many complaints or petitions that these nobles have. And they are quickly kind of filed and filtered off into various separate rows of queues in their own, and it seems like a massive fucking hassle. On honesty, it seems like a massive pain in the ass to be a noble and to want to speak to anyone in any sort of power. But it also seems like the staff here are well prepared, like almost as if they recognize that the nobles who are coming are as much of a pain in the ass as this whole endeavor is. It might be a pain for the nobles, but it seems like this is going through some kind of filtering process that seems purposeful, in that they are trying to direct the kind of time wasters and arseholes very purposefully through the system in a way that appears to be saving themselves effort or time for whomever is in the room in the court. Regardless, that doesn't bother you at all, because you can quite easily visit the very homey Office of the Adventuring, where you should be hopefully able to get a very easy signature on some paperwork and going off about your business. You know that there's a small price to pay, but you've also not done this in a little while. Now, as you enter the room, you see that there are no other adventurers, no other wizards, no other spellcasters in there at all. There is one person behind a desk that you can see has some kind of like a shimmering field in front of him. It's definitely not glass, but you can see that there is a shimmer liquid kind of appearance to it. You suspect that perhaps it's there to help deter any magic users from using magic against him offensively.
Is there a little sign that says, "Do not lean over the counter"?
Strongly discouraged. Now, this individual, a human with kind of short blonde hair, but a very, very tidy appearance, with a kind of like a burgundy shirt that's very tightly fitted, is Jan, as you can see from a name tag that they have on. They are filing away some paperwork behind the desk.
Is there a bell?
There is a bell. There's also several, many meters of kind of like what am I talking about?
Rope.
Barriers. Rope, that you need to walk all the way down before you can get to the front of the queue, even though there's no one here.
Is there a way to walk around, Zed?
There is, yeah.
I could take the way around.
Are there forms at the... Sorry, go
Aiming
ahead.
for the bell.
The second that you try and circumvent the rope, you are met with a very stern glare.
Gotta go in the rope. Go around the queue.
There's no one
Come
here.
on, come on.
Please move this way.
So it'll be
We're
quick
not
to walk.
causing a
It's okay.
fuss.
I could never be a noble turtle.
Are there forms on our end of things that we're supposed to fill out and take with us, or is there anything there?
So what you see in front of you is this particular person behind this kind of force field. And at the very far kind of right of the room, you can see that there are several cabinets that you can see are filled to the brim with they're like glass cabinets filled to the brim with papers. There are maybe 50 different cabinets filled with paper. Each of them have small kind of labels on them, like plaques that say they have a couple of letters and then they have a number to indicate which forms they have. Each of these seems to have a range of forms. No individual cabinet, for example, has just one form. It has a range of them, which you suspect will become a pain in the arse.
Bureaucrats love red tape.
We
And
walk
Dale, do we
through.
get... Yeah, okay. There we go. As we're walking, Norley's like, are we supposed to do this before, or did they give it to us? Like, assuming these papers are important, because we have to register.
What was the process last time I was here?
So the process that the last time that you were here, you had met Liarum quite early on in your time in Suzail. In fact, you'd met Liarum outside of Suzail. So working with Liarum, he had sort of done a lot of the work for you. You'd had a conversation a little bit about your background. He had filled out the vast majority of the paperwork for you already, and then kind of brought it with you. It just needed you to kind of like rubber stamp it. So you're familiar that you needed a couple of papers done. You're not sure 100% that he'd done all of the correct paperwork because he's not you. But you know that, there were a couple of forms. He brought them all up to the front, but you're certain that just asking this person, they'll be able to clarify for you.
There were a few forms, but I think the person at the desk here should tell us what is required.
Okay.
End up
Hello.
doing a deeply upsetting accent when I talk about this particular person. Hello.
Hi.
Greetings to the court.
Oh, thank you. We're here to register as magic people. We've just come here. We were told to do
Wonderful.
it.
Please make sure to fill in the forms.
Okay. Is she giving me are they giving me a form or are they?
Nope.
Oh, where are
Make
the
no
forms?
effort to hand you anything.
Where are the forms?
Over in the cabinet.
Which cabinet?
That cabinet.
There's lots of
massive
cabinets.
tons and tons of cabinets all sample.
Is it called something I could maybe look for?
That depends.
On what?
Listen, it's not my job to explain everything to you.
So-
Instead, brings out this massive tome and pushes it over the desk towards you. It shimmers as it goes through the field. This is a Goliath document that appears to be the kind of like regulations of spellcraft, and it is mammoth.
Oh no. Is there someone whose job it is to help people who don't know any of this stuff?
Yes,
Where are they?
they're on a holiday.
There's only one in the whole city of this size?
I said they. There's multiple people. They're all on holiday.
They all go on holiday together.
I was not invited.
Oh.
Oh.
Are you okay?
I
How do you
hate
feel
them.
about that?
It's okay.
Oh,
Yeah, that sounds really rude. You should probably hate them.
yeah.
I mean, you should hate your manager as well, and no one should be allowing everyone but one to book a holiday off at the same time.
Yeah.
I agree. But
Unless-
also, here we are.
Some kind of celebration, but
Do we even get like a food break?
I get a food break.
when and where do you
That's good.
toilet?
That's such a specific question.
We don't get that much footfall here. Me going to the toilet isn't really a problem.
Oh.
Okay.
And I suppose with not helping people with the forms.
I like my job.
So we go find the form we need.
Fill out the forms. I'll check the
Okay.
forms are right.
But you don't know what forms we need to fill? Like,
I
is it
don't know which forms you need to fill, but it's just not my job to tell you.
Could you tell us, even though it's not your job, just to be helpful and make the process go more quickly?
I
Not saying
could,
you're not
but
helpful.
I won't.
Oh.
Why?
How many forms are there?
Probably 200 forms.
So, how many of those will we need to bring to you one at a time for you need
You
the
can bring
toilet?
all of the forms you need at the same
no.
time.
I will bring one at a time, and you will tell me if it is the correct form,
And if I'm not here, you'll have to wait.
and you will be very annoyed because
Nope.
you will not have a quiet day sat here.
I like my job.
I think it's time that we have the discussion about who is the new Randall in terms of admin.
When I was designing this, I was like, Randall would ace this.
Mhm.
Absolutely. I'm just gonna go start reading the titles of the like cabinets with the placards and the forms. Like, are there that many different cabinets? Because there's one for wizards and one for sorcerers and one for bards. Like, what have we
I
got
would
going on
like
over
you
here?
to make an intelligence check.
Oh, bollocks.
shit.
It's intelligent someone else.
Oh, come on! I never get to make intelligence checks.
You help.
I'll help.
That's not bad, all things considered.
It does appear that there's some kind of naming convention. You can't quite grasp what the letters are referring to, you haven't got the book with you and you've not looked at it, so it's hard to really put the 2 and 2 together.
I've done much reading in my life, frankly. So.
Yeah, readings for nerds. But you can see that the letters most likely do correspond to something. They tend to be grouped together. And then so the forms are named, like, for example, CN21. So you're making assumptions that the CNs probably are grouped together. They probably mean something, and that you probably have to fill in a couple of these different forms. You think that if you picked up a couple of them, you could probably get from the context of the form what they're referring to. But it does make your head spin.
Haiku,
It
can
looks
you...
like there's some... Yeah, there's an order to this, but I'm not smart enough for this.
What do you two need to look?
Let me at it.
Go.
Let me at it. I want to open all the cupboards at once, get them all in view.
Okay.
We
Oh,
could
Let's
go the
fall over, they weren't
weaponized...
secured.
We could go the weaponized incompetence direction, where we just start pulling all the the whole stacks of forms out and trying to organize them ourselves to make sense of them and completely ruin their system so that they just get annoyed and give us what we need. We'll see if Haiku can ace
You want
this
me to
first.
do that? You're just giving it away.
I'd like an intelligence check from Haiku,
Would the
please.
calculator
I did say
help?
guidance.
Calculator might help.
Because, I mean, I don't think it was ever really talked about, but Haiku definitely didn't give that back.
Sure.
I felt like that was payment.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Okay. Sure.
It was underappreciated there, anyways.
I think you're right.
So, calculator in hand.
Okay, in which case you have advantage on your intelligence check.
And I did say guidance like 3 times just to make sure. Ooh.
So whilst you're trying to almost attune to the calculator, you recognize very quickly that it's really good at taking a catalogue of any kind of documentation, any kind of books that you've got in the vicinity. Very quickly, you're able to start a kind of this repository of the different types of documents, and they almost sort of name themselves as well. In fact, as you start to read this, you start to put 2 and 2 together very, very quickly. You can see that the different letters at the beginning appear to be referring specifically to different types of spellcasters, but also that there are kind of categories of, for example, where an individual has come from. You very quickly put together the correct forms for yourself and Oro and Neurali are going to be much, much more simple than Athale's.
Okay. Well, good news for some of us. I mean, Athale, you're a bit more complicated, I think.
So you recognize that, for example, Oro would need to fill in a certain number of forms. She would need to fill in, if she wanted to, and it's kind of an optional thing for a ranger, it would be TN61. That form is referring to being a Toril native. So she's native to this planet, as it were. Then CN18, which is a Cormyr native.
Oh, Cormyr native, okay.
And then RC01, which is Ranger class, Rogue class, Form 1.
No wonder there's so many forms.
Wow,
So
literally.
that's what she would have to fill in. Neurali would also need to fill in the Toril native and the Cormyr native forms. She would also fill in the UT02 form, which is the unclaimed territories. And SC, UT is unclaimed territories. And SC04, which is sorcerer class.
Cool.
I don't know that we've ever discussed what kind of class Neurali is before, so like Haiku's explaining all this, and she's just like, "What's a sorcerer? Is that what I do? Is that what that means?"
Do it just means your special class?
Oh, okay.
She buys it immediately.
Yeah. Why would she not?
Haiku, you have to fill in the same. where you have to fill in the Toril native, but you're not a Cormyr native. You have to fill in the Chult native form, and AC21, which is our Artificer class.
Wait, what's the code for the Chult one? Because
CHN.
CHN.
Oh, 3 letters. See, they didn't plan that one out well, did they?
Three
I-
letters.
C is the capital, H is a lowercase N.
Okay, and what's the number?
40 for you.
I have wrote all these down just in case.
I wrote mine down.
I'm not gonna pop quiz you. Don't worry. Simply because you have sort of circumvented the entire thing by using the calculator really efficiently, and I'm okay with it. However, you very quickly realise that filling in a Thales forms is going to be a massive pain in the arse. Because you're deducing from the names of these forms that it's pretty easy to get through, and it becomes a bit more complicated the more complicated your backstory is. So if you're from Cormyr, if you're from Toril, if you're one class, no problem. Easy peasy. But what little you know of Ethael is he's not from this plane. And you start to see several other forms that start to make you think, oh shit, this is going to maybe take a little while.
Okay.
You realise quite quickly that you might have to do a bit of a deep dive on Ethael's background to help him fully finish this application.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Can I not use the forms I filled in last time?
I mean, that's a good question.
Walk all the way back through the thing.
Hello.
This is the second time I've been here.
Okay.
Can I reuse the forms you already have for me? So I'm not from a new place. Suddenly.
How long have you been away from Suzale?
It's like years, isn't it? I don't actually remember exactly how long it is, but I think it's years.
It's years.
A handful of years.
No, you must finish the new forms. We updated the forms recently.
Fine.
The book will help. He kind of shoves the tome towards you.
Well, I'll take the tome. I'm not going to be careful with it.
The hefty, but surprisingly clean book is filled to the brim with knowledge, you suspect. Although maybe knowledge is not a fair word. Information. It has information in it. Whether or not it's useful outside of this room is completely up for debate. Now, what do you want to do with this tome?
So Haiku seems to have a good handle on how to do all these forms. So I think after flicking through to see if there are any pertinent examples, like Shadowkai wizards, hoping for here's the set of forms you need to fill out as if you fall into these categories, but probably not, given that it's not very common.
Chapter 17, Shadowkai Wizard.
Can you give me a intelligence check, please?
I don't remember how to play D&D.
Yeah, I'll take a 15. The first chapter that you kind of skip to as you're skimming through, immediately you see it refers to a form that says WC NA 01. And it said, and that, as you deduce, means wizard class, no apprentices 01.
Okay.
Which alludes to how many forms you might need to fill out. In it, you read the brief of the form, and you are reminded that any wizard of a certain prestige in the city, especially as they register, is expected to take on an apprentice. unless they have exemption. And they would apply for exemption here.
Excellent.
It's going to be easier to take on an apprentice.
They also need to register any towers that they own, residing in.
Own or residing in?
Residing in.
Shit.
And they would also have to register their mentor if they have an active mentor.
I
feel like the rest of us went and got our like 3 or 4 forms, and Athal's still figuring out which ones he needs, and we're just gonna get to stand there and fill ours out, and then just learn about Athal as Athal is just like, oh, and I need a form for this, and we're like, ooh, no mentor, eh? Okay, interesting.
So, with the help of the calculator, again, you've used that very effectively. Are you gonna help Athal with the calculator?
So Theo is going to bring, after skipping through it, bring you the book and be like, this may help.
I mean, if the Thal's asking for help, then yeah. Is
Athal asking for help?
You seem to have a contraption that has indexed all of these documents. Perhaps you can help me figure out the right ones.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to need a little bit more about you, to be completely honest.
Okay.
Righty, okay.
Well,
So you're not from this plane,
no.
okay? And you're a wizard.
I am indeed a wizard.
You're a Shadakai.
That is correct.
Do you have an apprentice?
I do not have an apprentice.
Do you have a mentor?
I do not have an active mentor.
Do you have a non-active mentor?
I have had a mentor in the past, yes.
Okay. Now
Many
we're getting
years ago.
somewhere. I don't know any of your forms, so I can't keep asking questions now.
So you go through a little bit of a to and fro, and you manage to find the forms that Thale will need to fill in. Thale needs to fill in NFN01, non-Faerun native. Don't worry about writing these all down. As I might have had a faff for you to do, but you've solved it.
I'm committed. I've written down everyone else's. It'd be unfair.
There's a long list, bro. EPN01, which is extra planar native. TT01, which is Toril Traveller. CT89, which is Cormir Traveller. ST40, which is Suzale Traveller. WC01, which is Wizard class. WCNM01, which is Wizard class no mentor. WCNA01, which is Wizard class no apprentices. WCNT01, which is Wizard class no tower. WCTNA01, which is Wizard class tower but no apprentices. And WCTNAE01, which is Wizard class tower, no apprentices, and exemption.
So I need the no tower and tower forms.
That depends on whether or not you consider yourself owning the tower or residing in the tower.
I don't think we own it yet because we haven't helped
We definitely
Elrond
don't
get
own
his
it.
main one. Yeah.
I
You
feel
have
like
to
we
fill
can
out I don't
skip-
own a tower, but I live in a tower. But I don't have a mentor
If you
in the
reside
tower,
in
and
the
I
tower,
don't have
that will be
a
fine.
prince
Yeah.
in the tower.
Yeah.
I think we can skip through that loophole. They're not going to check too. They're not going to check too deep, are they?
What if that like causes an issue and then they notice we're here because we didn't fill out the paperwork properly?
Yeah.
You act as if you are criminals on the run.
Very quietly, like, well, one of the leaders of the premier, like, military force is our mortal enemy and tried to kill us. So, kinda. Because the law is gonna believe them over us, probably.
I suppose when you put it in those words.
Wait, not unless we have a law.
No, he's definitely the law.
Overthrow the government, anyone?
Maybe later.
Do I have to fill in another form now that you've said that?
Actually, yes.
Now we're on a list.
Oh,
Now
yeah.
we're on a list. Look what you've done.
As you are
It's a ITOG 101. Intent to overthrow government.
as you guys are having this conversation, you hear in the otherwise stark like silence of the hall, some very loud footsteps on the otherwise marble floor. I can't even hear my little tick-tock noise I was making with my mouth there, but you get the gist.
I got it.
As this individual walks into the room, they have a very stylish look about them. They're definitely a wizard, 100%. You can see this starry gold and blue wizard hat that they've got on, this long robe that is kind of purposefully tied back around the waist and pulled back so that you can see this very fine attire that they have that continues this motif of these kind of stars, but are like not necessarily kind of in a traditional wizard attire. Is very much like a chic kind of play on the wizard robe. And they have a kind of like a quarterstaff, but it's more of a quarter staff. It's like an eighth of a staff, in that it is very much like a very long wand more than anything else. As they kind of strut their way along, and you see that they skip the red rope. They go to the front and they place a piece of parchment down on the desk, and they kind of slide it forward. And you recognize this person, Thale. This is Liarum. He doesn't clock you at all. He slides the parchment over towards Yan and says, "Another step. The very long legal process. I will be back, I suspect. In short time, I will be here with the full ownership of what is rightfully mine, and you will see me no longer." And Jan goes, "Okay, good. I don't like people." And the arm goes, "Likewise." There's a stiff turn, very proper and very quick, and briskly walks back towards the entrance.
Are they like exponentially more fancy than a Thale?
Oh, so, this dude is fancy as hell. This dude is fancy as hell. This is a you can see like probably a younger elf, who is very classically handsome, who's put a lot of effort into his kind of his aesthetic, and is, by all intents and purposes, a very stylish individual, and has a real air of kind of put togetherness just about them. It feels almost like everything that they do is very purposeful, but also you get this kind of sort of sense that everyone is a little bit beneath them, if not very far beneath them.
Mm-hmm.
Not that he's actually necessarily done anything immediately that's made that kind of giving you that kind of sense, but he just kind of has that air around him.
You can smell pretension on the wind.
You can smell pretension on the wind, but he also, maybe he's right.
Maybe sometimes people are just. I can't
Right?
finish this.
Maybe he's just better than everyone. Like he's good looking, he's got style, he's clearly got money and some sort of influence. Like,
Another wizard's tower, no?
he's currently
think
residing in a wizard's tower.
When they walk in and go by and look all fancy and are all handsome and stuff, I leaned over to Athale and I was like, "Is that how you dress when you're not on the road? Is that how wizards are supposed to look?"
No.
And she's not necessarily trying to be quiet about it either, but not being like loud. Just like, this isn't a hush conversation, right? We're not talking about being potential fugitives from the crown. This is just a fashion question.
Sure.
No, I have never dressed quite like that.
Oh, so they're like special, probably, huh?
You could say that. They're the kind who will hire somebody else to do their work.
Pussies? She says.
We encounter those type of people all the time.
That's true.
They're always
That's
bowing
kind
to
of
the
how we
whims of
make our
people.
living.
We're always bowing to the whims of people. Are you going to make any effort to talk to Liara?
No.
I suspect that would be the case. In which case, I'm going to quickly roll a dice. Just
Like,
to
if
see
they
if
would be
he
like,
overhears this
actively,
conversation.
like, okay.
Wait, what'd you say?
Unless you want to try and do something in particular to hide yourselves.
So like Athale would be like trying to look away and be like head buried in forms or
Okay.
Could
They're really
I
staring though.
could I add that the way I envisioned this was basically like Haiku just sat on the floor with papers surrounding them all
I'm
over.
glad that we had the same communal understanding of what was going on here, because my vision was that you were sat on the floor with forms upon forms laid out in front of you in an organized pile with the calculator about you. With I envisioned Oro sat on the floor cross-legged next to you against Nugget, using Nugget as a drawing, like a surface to lean on, which is way less effective than the floor.
but Nugget would have it no other way.
Yeah, exactly. And I envisioned that you guys were quite close to the cabinets. Nerly was using the top of the cabinet to fill in her forms, and that Athale was kind of stood over the bunch of you, looking down and expectantly listening to Haiku spout form information. That's how I'd envisioned it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And in true like young girl fashion, Nerly gets really distracted when a hot guy walks in. It's just like pencil in hand, like.
I mean, if Haiku didn't have the back turn looking at papers.
Elbow Haiku. The idea that as Nerly's gotten older, this is something that she and Haiku have started to do. Check people out together.
I like that a lot. Okay. Well, if you're going to try and keep yourself low profile, then could I have a stealth check from you, Thale?
Oh.
Would my body count as cover?
He stood up,
Oh, that's true.
as we have just described.
Yeah, sure. I don't know. It still stands.
It depends on what he wants to do to hide.
Large lad.
Can I nonchalantly put a hood up? Just,
Yes.
You know, stood here. It's a bit chilly in this room, right?
Yeah. I'll give
Yeah,
you
just
an
wait for
advantage
it.
on your stealth check.
Well, they get
That's what the cloak does.
disadvantage.
That's the cloak does anyway, right?
Yeah, they get disadvantage to see.
Okay.
And I have advantage on stealth checks.
Okay, roll the stealth check then.
This is when Athale forgets he put the jazzy jacket on.
It's just full of bells. Jingles.
Oof, with advantage too.
Okay. With Liaram's fairly aloof persona, it's hard to tell whether or not he's clocked you. He certainly does not say anything to you. You don't make any eye contact because you're looking away. It's hard to say.
Perfect.
I was
Please.
staring though. Do they look? Does the person look over at all? And does Nerly think they're looking at her?
It's hard to say. He's got kind of like because this blonde hair for the most part is pulled back, and you can kind of see it kind of come out underneath his big hat. But he does have kind of like a wisp of blonde hair that kind of falls over just over his eye line. So it's possible.
Okay. She just keeps filling out her forms.
What did I just say about blonde twigs?
It's the full don't turn around now, but
Literally. Don't look, but. No, don't look yet. Don't look yet. Give it a second. Yeah.
Okay. You guys fill in your forms. You successfully fill in all of the forms, easily catalogued away by the calculator. And as you do so, you recognize that each of these individual forms cost 5 gold each to file. There is no standing charge anymore. It is 5 gold per form.
despite the fact that
Sounds
we
hurting
filled
for
them
money.
all in and we had to filter through it all.
This actually works out as cheaper for some of you because the original standing charge was 25 gold pieces, but most of you are now only paying 15 or 20.
That's fine then.
How much is the Thale pay?
Great question. How much is the Thale paying?
How many forms is that? 6 forms?
55. I have 11 written down for a Thale.
11 forms.
I mean,
Yes, there are 11 forms for a Thale.
I'm putting it on the gold. The gold registry. Does registry have an E in it? Registry. Registry. Why does that word look wrong?
Oh, also, by the way, Nugget's still dead, so Nugget is not with us.
Oh,
I did wonder earlier, but then everyone
forgotten.
was.
I'd forgotten the Nugget was dead. Nugget's dead. Okay, so
How many
Oro
forms did I have
sadly leans
before?
back as if to lean onto Oro and topples over instead.
Oh.
Comically,
Oh,
legs
look,
go
you
up in
can
the
use
air.
my shell. It's fine. Not as comfy, but
Poor boy.
Oh, I just had 3. I had 3 forms. Suzale, no. Toril native, Cormyr native, sorcerer class, right?
You had unclaimed territories as well.
Unclaimed territories, so it was 20. Okay.
So land
Putting it
within
on the ledger.
Cormyr that has not been otherwise claimed by the court. I.e. growing up in a cave in the mountains.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, it didn't work.
How long does it take a Thale to fill out these forms? Like, how much does he have to write in them?
How many times have I had to write the same thing on multiple forms?
The
11 times.
latter few forms
Oh,
are
no,
very
it's
tedious because they include a lot of the same information. There is one thing in particular that takes him a little while to fill in. Or maybe it doesn't at all. You tell me. How long does it take you to fill in the exemption form for not having an apprentice? You have to outline. You've got a maximum word count of 500 words, which gives you an idea of how many words you're expected to provide as to why you should be allowed exemption from having a mentee. Sorry.
I think a Thale definitely doesn't use 500 words. So probably.
It's worth noting, and I'm saying this to you as a player and as an Athale, that if your excuse is not good enough, they can court mandate you an apprentice.
That's excellent. Okay.
If by
So-
default your exemption application is rejected, you are given an apprentice.
Awesome.
Do you
Or you
need...
expect. I think that you read the book and you realize quite quickly that you have a small time window, which is discretionary, so they have to decide it based on your application, where you can pick your own apprentice. If you do not pick an apprentice within the time window, they give you one.
Does the book outline for the exemption the kinds of things that are acceptable exemptions? Nope. Freeform. Excellent.
God
Can I
damn it.
take a wild guess that if you went out there, found an apprentice, and just punched him squarely in the face, that might be classed as an exemption?
Or a crime.
Or a
Some
crime.
type of, apprentices wouldn't be safe around you type of thing.
Are there any expectations on apprentices? Couldn't you just say one of us was your apprentice?
Another form to fill out.
Oh. So I think a Thale's exemption would be based on like not going to be staying here very long. So actually, the amount of time he'd actually have to spend with an apprentice would mean they would be switching the person they're learning under and just don't have time to actually learn that. And
that's not good for the young wizard.
Exactly. And also that they probably won't live long enough to actually learn the things. Because a Thale is quite old. Although a Thale has spent a long time learning the things that a Thale has learnt.
Right.
Probably longer than most apprentices would, like, their natural lifespan. And so they would never be able to learn from a Thale.
I mean, unless your apprentice was themselves a Shadow Kai.
Or another elf, but that isn't what a Thale writes in the form.
No.
Yeah, but...
and it's a little bit menacing too, like they wouldn't live long enough for it, and Athale's just like, probably, because like most creatures live what, like 50, 100 years?
Exactly.
Like, ugh. Like that took me that long to learn a spell. Meanwhile, the form gets turned in and they wouldn't live long enough to tell the tale. My goodness.
Okay. We'll find out whether or not your application was successful at a later date.
Excellent.
God, there's got to be an adventuring exception, right? Because if a wizard shows up and is like a high-level wizard, and then they assign them a court-mandated... Yeah, but then they're like, if they're like, well, I leave in a week, and they're like, nah, we're giving you one anyway, and they give them like a level 1 wizard, and they're like, you go wherever they go. They go off to fight dragon, and they just die. Like, that'd be wild. That'd be wild. Anyway, continue.
What if a tower is just an Airbnb? Or is that like a separate
Exactly.
It's funny that you say that because there is an Airbnb joke.
Oh.
Oh, we're gonna have to walk down every street till we find it.
It's not far away.
If I ever learned to code, I would build an app for finding tabletop parties in your area, and it would be Air D&D.
Nice.
But I'd have to like spell it differently in some kind of way to not have the D&D copyright come at me. But anyway, continue.
Okay. You guys file away your paperwork. Everything seems to be in order. That you are informed that your application for the apprentice exemption will have to, go through some formal processes before you know the answer. You are informed that you've all now successfully registered your spellcasting kind of prowess in the city of Suzale, and thus are put upon the record, and you're okay for the foreseeable future until you are away from Suzale for more than 12 months. Then you would have to fill in
How convenient.
your paperwork again. You've been away for more than 1 year. In addition to that, you will pay your fees, I hope. 5 gold pieces per form.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And what else did I want to do to you? What else did I want to do to you? There was something else. I can't remember.
They
I
also,
think you're
when
okay.
you've submitted forms, you get a free lollipop.
Oh, when you've submitted your forms, you are made aware that you are now able to attend the Council of Mages.
Oh.
So any primary spellcaster is now able to attend the Council of Mages. These happen every 3 weeks. The next one is in 7 days' time.
Primary spellcaster. That's not me, right?
Yes, correct. So technically, it's also not haiku.
I was about to say, I don't think I quite do enough spell-wise.
Ooh.
They sound really
Failed
fun.
early
too.
As if you want to go.
I will go to the Willing Smile.
Yeah. We'll meet you back at home later, don't worry about it. Tell us how your meeting went.
You don't mind us.
So it's made clear to you that the Council of Mages is where the spellcasters of of Suzale, not just war wizards, will discuss things like the regulation of magic, any news in relation to magic. It might be that like specific quests are kind of advertised at these events. Really, lots of people can sort of be there, but you can't be involved unless you are a primary spellcaster. So the rest of you could go, but you wouldn't be recognized by the council. Whereas the rest of these guys wouldn't quite be necessarily considered equal amongst all of their peers, but they would very much be respected contributors to the discourse, as it were. Though it is worth mentioning that everybody, these have like, sure they might have an agenda, but they also on that agenda will take minutes of people who are there, for example. And if you don't go, then you send your apologies to say that you are not going to attend, which means that if you are registered and able to go to these things and you don't go to them, your name is written down as an apology. And if you do go to them, your name is written down as an attendee. So you've got 7 days of varying anonymity before someone recognizes you.
Okay. Ooh, we've got a timeline now. Okay.
It's assuming I remember 7 days' time.
I'm
Now we're going to
writing
start
this
seeing
down.
how time works in our D&D games, because we don't usually give a shit about days.
Yeah.
Like, days and weeks haven't been a problem for us. But now we're going to see, all of your entire campaign is over and it's only been 7 days. And we never get to know what happens in this meeting because
No.
the councils never get a chance to meet.
They said, can we attend it via Zoom? Is that an option? Is there
You've got to have
dial-in?
a filter on.
Cry it.
Right. With that, should we have a bio break?
Yes.
Go on,
And with that riveting action of filling in some paperwork,
Well, that's what the people are here for.
that's what they want. We will be adjourning for some biological breakage.
Biological break.
I don't know about that one. We're going for a bio break. If you are new to the stream, hi. How's it going? That's it. We are. Oh no! What do I do to cover my screen these days now that the Jack face has been moved?
There we go.
Do
Wow.
good.
Where'd your
Just
jack
like-
face get moved?
Because I
Well-
put it above the toilet as a joke.
It's still there by the sounds of it.
It's still there.
Amazing.
Occasionally when I go for
Amazing.
it, it's like every time I go for a pee, I can just look right into Jack's eyes if I want to.
It's a staring contest every time.
We're going for a bio break. It doesn't take you long. We'll do our business and come right back. See you in 5 minutes. Stretch, drink, empty yourself, whatever you need to do.
I'll run some ads again. Sorry if you are an ad watcher.
Hello, chat. Hello.
Are we excited for some city council meetings? Ooh. Yeah! Woo woo wee!
I think Aura and I might actually have to go to the brothel just to keep things interesting. You might just swapping back and forth between them.
Don't worry, I'm not planning on purposefully designing boring encounters. Why would I do that? What, get you to do some paperwork?
Never.
Ooh. Don't worry, like I said, you'll never get there. You'll never get there.
I won't. I'm not a good enough spellcaster.
You can attend. You just can't speak.
Why would I want to attend something I can't speak? Come on.
That's the biggest challenge that Haiku's ever faced. And we've got all sorts of bits and bobs to do in Suzail. I was thinking to myself during the break, if I was told by one of you guys, listen, Tom, I want to see this campaign through to the end, but I need my Sundays back. I want to see if we can speed run the rest of this campaign. Right? You got to only do core story stuff. And I was thinking to myself, how long would it take if I decided that I had to do a speed run of this campaign from here till the end? And I don't know, long. It would be long.
Good. I don't want anyone to say that.
It would be long. Is this, I got fun ideas for some of the end game stuff. I got fun ideas for maybe like future campaign-y things.
I can't believe you told us that, and I'm getting no hints. I'm dying. I need to know.
You get nothing. You get nothing.
It's going to be like another year before we even like.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Easily.
So this is not like every RPG game ever, where if you play it and don't do any of the side quests, you finish it in like a few hours, like 10 hours.
I wish my storytelling was that concise.
Don't. I like it. Don't change anything.
Oh dear.
Me screaming in the sidelines.
The real risk is, will we finish the campaign before I move out?
Whoa, that would be cool though.
Challenge.
Challenge. What is that challenge for us or challenge for Jack?
I think.
That's what I wanted to know.
Are you the only one of us who hasn't moved while playing this campaign?
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure Katie's moved several times.
Yeah.
Tom and Jenny have definitely moved. I've moved.
Holy shit.
I mean, I haven't moved in the past 21 years.
Oh dear.
Living the dream over there.
Did you make it take longer? Yeah.
Oh, I could make it take longer, yeah.
More forms.
Yeah,
Every episode, more forms.
More gachapon.
That's
I mean,
not
if a
something
DM
Tom would
wants to make something last longer, I just throw a combat at you.
Hmm.
That's that eats up a whole session. Just one combat. Well, that's done for 3 hours.
or an ever so slightly morally ambiguous decision.
Mm.
Yeah.
You do love it morally, or a door,
5 doors in a row. You're screwed.
It's all doors. That's all the dungeon
Five
is.
Oops, all
doors
doors.
in a row.
Don't give us a speed run dungeon though.
Oh,
We will
yeah.
fly through that.
Yeah, we know how to complete that.
You smashed that, to be fair.
And then you smashed that, so there's a lot of
Hey.
smashing. Or I guess that was before, wasn't it? Never mind.
There was
Still a lot of
before.
smashing done that day.
There was a lot of smashing done that day.
No, there was smashing it.
You're out.
We're
You
out.
leave having registered. Wonderful. As you walk onto the promenade, you do not see any sign of Liarum. But also, none of you guys know that it was Liarum apart from Dale.
I literally wrote in my notes, we met a character that we only out of character know Athale knows. So that I wouldn't confuse myself later on and be like, no, you
No.
literally talked about it. No.
But
So it's not around here, right?
so you've left unless you want to tell me that you stop in the courthouse, then you've left the courthouse. You're on the promenade, which is the main concourse street through the city. You can't see Liarum anywhere.
So as we step out then and we can't see Liarum anywhere, be like, that is, that was Liarum. I assume trying to take over the tower from Eleron. That is probably the legal battle that he is referring to.
Oh.
So is that how war wizards dress then?
Have I met more than one war wizard?
Have you ever been to one of the Council of the Mages meeting?
Yeah, because I think there would be a lot of talk of like stuff that's going on and like quests and things like that there. So yeah, I think.
Then yes, you've met. Well, whether or not you've
Well, not that I've
spoken
seen.
to them, but you've seen an awful lot of them. Yeah. These things usually have upwards of 40 people at them. Not all of them are war wizards. They're all just spellcasters. But some of the war wizards will be there. And it's usually chaired by very senior members of the council.
Do they, is there like a particular dress for a war wizard, or is it just like?
No,
No,
not really.
it's-
No, they tend to like a war wizard would tend to try and incorporate purple into their attire, and they might have a some sort of allusion to the Oberskier family crest in their design. Not that you've seen any kind of uniform or anything, but you're also aware that Eleron was a war wizard.
Right.
True. Does not seem like a particularly snazzy dresser.
They each have their own style, I suppose.
Oh. We should go to that fashion store.
Yes, I suppose.
Yeah?
We can mention it to Eleron later when we see him.
Yeah.
Should we? We should do that.
Probably if that's the
the
tower that they're
fashion?
trying to. Yeah.
Oh, not the fashion store. I was
No.
going to say.
No.
You're...
I mean, we could
I
mention
don't think
that
you'd
as well.
be interested in that.
How do you
That'd be a
know
bit
that
rude.
person?
I did some work for them when I was here before being trapped.
Are they the one that
sent-
trapped you?
They sent me with incorrect information.
Oh, wait. They sent you to the prison with incorrect information? Or they...
No. They sent me to collect something.
Oh. Oh, and they gave you
Awards.
wrong.
They told me there would be no magical wards.
Oh. I see.
They were not correct.
Do you want us to kill him?
We could.
That seems
Or does it-
extreme.
We could do it.
I mean,
No.
could-
They fuck you up?
did their lying nearly kill you?
Yes,
That
but
seems perfectly
equally, I think our debt is settled. They lied to me, and I have not retrieved the thing that they wanted. Our contract is therefore done.
Oh. Do you know if they lied or if they are just bad at research?
They are probably a bit of both.
Okay.
They seemed very confident in their reading.
Big old stinky liar. I'm upset.
Yeah, so I don't have to be nice to them if we meet them again. Good to know. Especially if they're trying to steal the tower.
Yeah.
Fuck 'em.
Yeah.
I like how everybody else has way stronger feelings about this than Athale does. There's just like,
The rest of us have
He's a
trauma.
guy.
We have various serial trauma, and so like we're just like, so you kill people who betray you, right? Because that's what we're gonna do.
Our base level of emotion is higher than yours, and our base level of trust is much lower.
Yeah.
Yeah, growing up in the Shadowfell will do that to you. You haven't got the same peaks and troughs.
no.
Okay.
Let's go shopping.
Yeah.
Sure.
Shopping.
So are we
Well,
off to
that's what
the
Aura
sachet
has.
away?
Oh, Katie's so stinky today.
I'm so stinky. I'm
Right.
shocked. I even just put on my good smelly lotion. Maybe that's why I'm stinky. Because a goblin would find this stinky.
Can you say the wizard's name one more time so I can write it down and not keep thinking Leandros, because that's the only name I have in my head every time
Yeah,
it's
I will
gone out.
Put it in the DM drops.
Thank you.
Hashtag fuck Leandros.
Exactly. Oh yeah, I didn't get steady quill written up. Hey, thank you.
Right. So you guys meander your way back up the current of the promenade and take a right at the royal baths. You travel north to where the signs are pointing towards the sachet away. The sachet away, fortunately, is open. This small store, tucked in amongst these other buildings, is very well put together. It has a strong white and blue aesthetic with kind of like minimalist architecture and a clear glass kind of facade. Easily walk in the front door, a little ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling bell goes off. You see on the inside that this is a high-end boutique fashion shop. And they primarily seem to sell naval attire.
Sashay
As
away.
in
Gotcha.
for boats.
Thank you.
Or-
Yes.
Yeah.
Away, like away anchor.
Yes, that's the pun.
Sashay away.
I'm very proud of it. And
I have a boating dress on right now, literally. It's like, that's so funny. And it's blue and white too.
so what you can see throughout here is that there are a couple of display items, but it is a you get the sense that this is a very high-end boutique shop simply due to the lack of stock. There are 3 items being displayed. Each of them extremely high-end, very chic, but also kind of maintaining this like minimalist theme. You can see that they are not in any way related to the Purple Dragon Knights, and you see that they also are not. They're not associated with the Blue Dragons either. The blue dragons being the naval force of the Oberskier family. They seem to be agnostic. Nice. They've maintained that same sort of white and blue kind of aesthetic, with what you can see is a kind of a naval-style long-flowing dress. You see that there is like a more traditional for us kind of boating outfit, and you also see that there is some like beachside attire for a child.
Would it fit a goblin?
Yeah, 100%. Yes, there are no price labels.
Oh.
And there are no other customers in the shop. But as you hear the like ding-a-ling-a-ling-ling-ling-ling of the bell as you enter the shop, is everybody going in, or is it just a couple of you? Dale's not
I want
interested.
to go in.
I mean, I'll go in, but I'll stay near the door if Ithal's outside, just in a...
Well, if everyone's going in, then they all go in.
Okay.
We don't go in last.
I mean, unless you wanted to explore something else nearby, you're welcome to. You all enter the store. Ding-a-ling-ling-ling-ling. Coming from the back of the shop, you can see there's like a staff, kind of like some beads kind of hanging down as if there was a door. You see a 7-foot-tall Aarakocra woman who is wearing a kind of like a headdress that falls down over her over her body and kind of covers her wings almost, like it's quite a lengthy headdress. But it's also like wonderfully tailored. It's more like a coif than anything else. Like it's tailed around the head and then goes over the shoulders and downwards. And she has maintained the same sort of aesthetic, but she's kind of got more like pastel colors. She steps down into the shop and she says, "Oh my goodness, I can't believe I have some lovely visitors on this." Haiku? What are you doing here? Oh my gosh.
How are you?
She runs over to you, grabs both of your cheeks, and kisses you with full force. And then she lets go and she slaps you.
Yeah.
The cheek that you have. Oh my gosh. Now, there's something very important that we need to identify here. This is an ex-partner.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I got that.
But at no point since I brought this concept up with Haiku, or with Jack more specifically, has Jack given me any thoughts about what this relationship was like, or why they are an ex-partner. So what I would like Jack to do is tell me the circumstances under which you and Pearl broke up.
Yeah.
We can roll some dice if it would help you figure it out.
No. Give me a second.
I was gonna say, if you're not gonna ask, Nurli was literally gonna be like, "What did you do?" Just assuming that Haiku is at fault in some way.
So it could very well be that this slap on the cheek was you stayed away for so long.
Could be, yeah.
It could be what are you doing? You wronged me.
Yeah.
It's more of a cared deeply for each other and clearly got on very well.
Mm-hmm.
Circumstances and lifestyle never really worked. They were trying to force it to work. Like you settled down in the city for a little bit. Pearl tried to travel around. It's just not neither of those lifestyles suit the other person. Despite the fact of how physically attracted they are to each other.
Partners.
Sure. Okay. Nobody in the party is surprised by this greeting.
It's very much shouldn't really see each other again because they know it's not gonna work. But if they keep interacting, then
Okay.
just gonna keep hurting them.
Right. Right.
Star-crossed and
Okay.
No.
doomed.
Haiku's a different turtle now.
Okay.
Well,
Just a
true.
little bit.
A little bit of a different tone.
Vitamin D. Vitamin D.
That's probably what
Turtle now.
sort of prompted them to quite happily go back.
Oh.
So you've returned.
Yeah, I know we said we, for the both of us, not really the best of ideas to, see each other again.
And
But
yet
I
here
was
you
in-
are.
Well, we're in the city on business. This is my new sort of traveling
Party?
companions.
Yeah.
Adventuring party. That's the word I'm looking for. This is Aura. This is Nerily. We got a
Oh my
Thale
gosh.
back.
You guys are so beautiful. Can I just say that?
Thank you.
Sure.
I love this aesthetic. You've got so much like chaos core energy going on. This whole palette suits you so amazingly. Did you who are you working with? She's looking directly at Oro.
Absolutely, she's looking at Oro.
Oh, these are just my clothes.
Shut up. You didn't even talk to any designers. This is just you. Authentic.
Yeah.
You're astronomical, you know that? You're one in a kind. You're amazing. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god, thank you.
And you, wait a second. Oh my gosh, I think I even recognize this. This is did you choose this? Today? This robe changes,
yeah.
right?
I have a magic dress. Mm-hmm.
Of course. Oh my gosh. Wow, and you do this
I'm
all
gonna
on
do a
your
little
own?
spin, and then I'm gonna do a motif that's similar to the shop.
Oh my gosh. Would you stay? Would you stay and stand in the window and be like a model?
I don't know what that means. What's a model?
Just stand there, look beautiful, and then they come into the shop and buy my things, and then I'll pay you.
Oh, maybe if we're not busy at some point.
That's perfect. That's perfect. And who's the whole dark and brooding over there?
Oh,
That's a Thale.
That's a Thale. He's fairly new.
Oh, fresh blood.
I'm not
Very
sure how
smart,
Thale
like Haiku too.
feels about being called new as probably the oldest one here by 100 years, but doesn't say anything.
Okay, mysterious. Mysterious.
That's kind of his whole thing.
Sure. Haiku, maybe we should talk in private sometime. Are you here for long or?
We'll be here for a good few days, potentially upwards of a week or so.
Oh.
Yes, definitely. We should probably have a chat.
Okay.
Without.
I would like that. Then I'll let you choose the venue, and you can buy me dinner.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Yeah, okay. Yeah, you can do that.
Good.
You free tomorrow night?
I could do tomorrow.
I'm just guessing we're probably going to be having a look around the place today as all.
Of course, getting to know Suzale again.
Yeah. Unless you want to help us out.
Unfortunately, the shop is open today, and I think I'm expecting clients.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Tell you what, tomorrow night then, I'll pop round there to pick you up.
I would like that.
Yeah, 8 o'clock? Or whatever units of time they use in this place.
That sounds perfect.
Lovely. I'll see you then.
Not if I see you before. Bye. You guys find yourself in the street outside.
Actually, before I go, everyone kind of files out, and this is when Nerly's finally gonna get awkward a little bit. She's gonna be like, so this might sound a little weird, but I kind of talk to God sometimes, and one of them gave me like a really vague hint specifically about mantles of feathers and Aarakocra fashion, and I feel like I don't know, maybe that has to do with you? Do you have any kind of like interesting things you've come across lately that might have to do with like the Raven Queen or anything like that?
Oh my gosh. No, but
Mm.
I mean, now that you mentioned praying to gods, I mean, I had a bit of a thought about my gods, and I was praying away and hoping that maybe your savior would come and that silly kind of things. I'm gonna talk to Haiku about this, but maybe you guys can help me.
Okay.
Now's not a great time to talk about it, but I'm thinking that maybe we could have a conversation.
Yeah, later, of course. Okay. Sure.
It's nice to talk to you, though.
Yeah, it was
Anytime
nice
that
to
you
meet
want to come and do some modeling or try on some of my dresses, you can let me know.
Okay. I will. I'll mark out on the map where your store is. We got a map. And she just like waves and starts to leave.
There you are. The sachet away.
Nice.
Shantae, she stays. I come out
Now
a
we've
few
gotta
moments
find a
after everyone.
restaurant.
Uh-huh. Haiku.
Haiku,
is that
you
about?
dirty dog. Every town and city we go to. Good God.
No. This one was different. Okay?
Yeah, I've heard that before.
No, this is a person you try to change yourself for.
Oh. Oh.
Mm.
Oh.
What
Anyways,
happened?
shall we continue?
Oh, you can't just say that and not tell me, but okay.
It's rough, okay? We try to make it work. Christ, I even lived here for a little bit. You know,
Huh?
Pearl came traveling, trying to find stuff. Just the lifestyle did not work for either of us. I don't think either of us were truly happy with a medium either. Not that really exists, not much of an intersect between magic item finding and, high-end nautical fashion. It's quite niche. We could
Unless
probably
the
have
magic
an
items you
outfit.
find are nautically themed, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, I was a lot more obsessive than I have been recently as well.
Fair.
I do think the lack of weight has helped clarify things. But yeah, we agreed not to see each other again to try and prevent anything from restarting, to put it one way. And now we're off out for dinner tomorrow night. Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe we can have a look
Probably
around this
make
place.
sure I've got some of the keepsakes from other people off the shell as well. Come to think of it.
Yeah, get rid of some.
Yeah.
Wait.
You walk away, scalp flapping in the wind.
No, that wasn't from an
Stench of
interest.
rotting
That was from
flesh.
No, that's
a
alright.
party member.
That's fine, that one.
I was more
Yeah.
thinking of various other things that I've collected over the course of. No, anyway,
Yes.
you
Mm-hmm.
could all just keep an eye out for any fancy-looking places to eat, because I don't really know this place. It's like living here for a little bit. This is how we struggle to make the life work.
We'll keep an eye out.
I mean, we do have the voucher for the upturned turtle, but I don't think that's really a.
That's for a massage,
Well,
wasn't it?
I think it was for a
Really?
massage,
Voucher for
yeah.
a massage. Yeah. That's not a dinner.
I mean, we've been more intimate than that.
Yeah, but that's also my voucher.
Oh,
There's only one.
oh, okay. That would make it weird. Yeah, yeah. Just the two of us weird. Yeah. We'll
Yeah.
keep our eyes out.
Is
I didn't
there
really think that I was supposed
Also-
to go with you on your date, but
Also, if we can, not get ourselves into anything, or not, immediately
foreboding?
accept every single thing we come across so that I'm free tomorrow 8 o'clock? That would be brilliant, guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Just say no.
Liarum is a fancy fellow. I feel like Liarum has probably been to a lot of like fancy places and probably brags about all the fancy places he's been to eat.
I would like to point out
And
I have 200 gold at the moment.
Thale has been around Liarum a lot.
true.
So maybe he knows a few places to suggest to Haiku.
I will allow you a history check. And I'm allowing you this history check as the only person in this party that could possibly know that. DC is 15.
I don't suppose I could guidance this somehow, could I? Just my inspiring presence.
Nope.
Even though this is doing a kind thing for Haiku to help them out and maybe make a little bridge.
You know what? Okay, that's,
Character
you know what?
development.
Well played, Docs. Well played. I'll allow it.
Hard
Doesn't
bullshit,
matter.
hard bullshit, hard bullshit.
Oh.
You have advantage though, right?
No?
That was what that was? I thought that's what you...
I was
Tom just
forget
ran.
It
guidance.
wasn't. I was allowing for guidance, but you can do an advantage. Roll an advantage.
I feel like Vantage might be better.
Yeah, definitely now that we've seen that number.
Oh.
Still one short. Still one short. How sad.
Oh.
Something does come to mind. In fact, you know that if you could speak to Liarum, you could coax it from him very easily. You know, there was somewhere maybe not so far away from where you currently are, but you also know that the kind of prices for these kinds of things, it's not small town high-end venue, it's the biggest city in the country high-end value. Like, it's going to cost bank, and you're not sure that Haiku has the funds to cover it. In fact, it occurs to you that it might be a good idea to try and do a quest between now and then, so that you have money to pay for this.
Okay, yeah, no pressure anyone, but we are going to have to find somewhere to get me paid before 8 o'clock tomorrow night.
Yes.
A minute ago, Haiku, don't accept
get into
any
anything.
quest.
I know I said that. I know what I said earlier. And yes, I am a hypocrite. We're going to have to accept everything.
I could literally be like, we're not doing anything until tomorrow night. Reaches into coin purse. We need to do one thing until tomorrow night. Theo, didn't you say that there was some person who told you about work in the city?
Yes, Sub Rosa, but I do not know where they are. So we should probably ask somebody.
Okay.
Do I know about any places that it's like common for people to like normally there's like inns and stuff where people would go to when they're giving out work or that kind of stuff?
Yeah. So I will give you another history check. DC is 10.
Hey.
That's what we get the Whopper of 19. You're familiar with the Society of Stalwart Adventurers in the town, not far from Elrond's Tower, the Emerald Spire, which is kind of like the guild for adventurers. So lots of kind of bigger and smaller quests are put up there. But you're also familiar with, there'll be quests galore throughout the whole city. If you ask the right person or if you show up at the right time. If you're looking for big ticket items, that might not be a bad place to go. But something also occurs to you. You know that Liarum is loaded.
All arrows point to Liara.
Yeah. Well, there are many places to get work here. Unfortunately, one of the people with the most money here is Liarum. They also have some of the most interesting work, which is why I was working for them.
Oh.
But there is this Sub Rosa who we could try to find.
Like if we
sounded-
go try and talk to Liara, we're gonna end up getting into a fight about the tower because we're trying to get that back for Elrond. You know? Maybe not though.
Potentially. You just,
Potentially what? You
Knock on the door. Once.
think you shut.
You
Kill him?
cannot.
Kill him. You're saying kill him.
See, I was already called out earlier for saying.
Sorry, I was so confused what you were on
trying
about.
here, guys.
I didn't know
I'm
what you were
trying.
doing.
It was this was the confusing thing. I didn't know. Are we knocking on the door?
Oh,
Like
no, it was punch.
Oh,
oh,
you don't punch like that.
Yeah.
that's not how punches work.
I don't. I usually slash with claws. I don't. I'm usually
That's true. Yeah, why would you know? That's
Or
fair.
just shoot. It'd be silly to get up close.
What
I
did
do
you say?
not think it is a good idea to come into the biggest city in Cormyr and attack the war wizard within their own tower, especially when one is trying to claim their innocence. It is not a good look.
I mean, it needs must though.
No, it
I
seems
do not
like
think your
based on
date
all.
is enough of a need to murder a war wizard.
Hey, you're
Just
not
out
me.
of curiosity, knowing that Elrond's desire, and you're kind of signed up for this, it's possible for you to withdraw your interest, I suppose, is for him to retake his tower.
Mm-hmm.
You suspect that Liarum is going to just say, yeah, okay.
No, that's what I was
No.
about to say. Seems like maybe just based on.
Just curious to know what you think this exchange is going to go like, whether or not Liarum's going to end up dead or not. Seems it's possible that it doesn't
Thing is,
die.
guys, I'm just looking a few interactions with this bloke ahead. We're probably gonna kill him
Look,
anyway.
there's a difference. There's a difference between, hey, you have no legal right to this tower and we're taking it back because here's the owner, and hey, we killed this person because they have no legal right.
That's what I was thinking. They seem to really like
so.
their forms around here. There's probably a form that we can have Elrond fill out that's just like, actually, I own this and I'm alive and I'm here. I would like it back.
What if we give him
And
an
then maybe-
unsigned check?
Why would we give them money when instead
No,
we could
he
just
signs
be like,
it and then we cash it in.
That's what I was thinking. Maybe they'll pay Elrond a bunch of money, Elrond/us a bunch of money to be able to keep their tower, and Elrond can just have the other one.
You
So maybe we
don't
should go
know
back
how
to the
wizards
paperwork
work.
place. I don't.
No, she doesn't.
No.
Nope.
Sorry,
There's a lot I
don't.
don't know.
I just feel my desperation level's increasing, and it's not a good thing.
I mean, Haiku.
A
how
cloud.
much could an expensive-
Cloud appears.
Stood
We
under
don't
a
sun
shop with
rays.
the prune, no. How much is like a fancy dinner in a city like this anyway?
From what Liarum was saying, it was significant money.
That's really
I don't know
relative,
if I
though.
would know directly, but probably.
I used to think 20 gold was significant money, and now I don't. So I don't know that, that really.
I think Athale would think it was like 500 gold per person, like per head, for the kind of places that Liarum was going to.
Okay, so that puts me about 800
Most
short.
of it short.
But we'd
Why
have
would
to
you spend
split
that much money on just food?
We'd have to split that 4 ways, so we need to earn about 2.5 grand before 8 o'clock tomorrow night.
Okay.
Well, we
It's,
should find some work then.
Well, our boots up. Go.
Wait, what did you say?
I think I got the wrong phrase there. Pull our socks up.
Pull our socks
Well,
up?
socks up.
Put your boots on?
Socks up. Socks up. Yeah.
Oh.
Pull your
Pull
boots
your
up.
boots up. Put a hole through the bottom of them.
We know there's an apothecary around the corner on the map that's on there. We could just go in there and be like, hey, do you know where this person is that we're looking for? Just whilst we're here.
Yeah,
I-
could do.
I don't remember the circumstance of learning about Sub Rosa. Did I
was
get
the person who wanted to talk to you
Oh, yeah.
alone? What's his name?
Can I
Person tried to
do-
scalp you for their party.
Can I do like an insight check from memory as to whether this was someone who was like on the up and up and above board and is going to be doing things in like the Adventurers Guild, or if this was like a go into the right bar, ask for the right person at the thing?
Knock 3 times on the window.
Yeah.
You'll be given the location of the dead drop.
You could roll as many dice as you want, but I didn't give you enough information to really
Okay.
glean that.
But I mean, a city this size, that kind of stuff is happening. So
But the big history check means you do know whether or not there was like a notice board, though, right? Wasn't that what that was for?
Where
yeah.
you might go, yeah. That was
Oh,
for
yeah.
the Society for Stalwart Adventurers.
Oh, right. So
Okay.
let's just start there.
Yeah, let's go there. Where the fuck was that?
Okay,
Yes.
right. Well, let me put that on your map for you, because that is somewhere
Is it?
that you know the location of.
Oh, it's all the way over there.
Yes, it's the other end of the promenade.
Right.
Okay.
Mhm.
So we're away from Sachet Away. Again, very happy with that pun.
Are we
Working
one.
just going down the promenade?
southward
Is he-
along the promenade. Yeah, I'm
Mhm.
assuming, unless you're going to tell me otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
just before I start
Wonderful.
boring, you know?
Yeah, you can continue your trip, and as you do so, you pass BB McGee's cake shop.
Oh.
And eventually find yourselves passing the Emerald Spire and Phalas's Treasures Thentia. Whether or not you stop here is up to you, but it's worthwhile me describing it regardless. You note that the Emerald Spire, this is not something that is unfamiliar to at least a Thale, is an awfully tall green tower that is walled off, though it doesn't appear so on the map. It is walled off. There are some imposing stairs at the front that you can see just from street level, but there is a wall and it is on an elevation. You can see that the tower kind of splits off into the sky, but it appears to have like a secondary smaller tower built alongside it. It looks a little bit in disrepair. It doesn't look quite as nice as the last time that Thale saw it. At its base, you see a bustling, what is essentially a superstore for magical items. Phalas's Treasures of Thentia is a huge magical shop. It is the premier shopping experience for artifacts and relics and magical items alike in Suzale. As you look through the doors, just at a glance, there is one thing in particular that stands out. Amongst the hustle and bustle of everywhere from small children playing with wands of prestidigitation to learned sages leafing through dusty old tomes, you see stood at the far back of the shop behind a desk lined with many reagents and vials and potions. Poultice is behind him. Eleron.
Like
And
the,
which shop is this at?
Phalas's Treasures of Thentia.
Oh, Elrond Phalas. Right, of course.
This is Phalas, rather.
Oh, so this is not his shop with his last name.
This is slightly different spelling. Elrond Felos. This is Phalas's Treasures of Thentia.
Phallus. Lol.
Oro immediately walks in.
Fair.
Wonderful.
He's like,
You walk into the shop, and there is, like I said, hustle bustle. There are lots of people in here. They're all kind of browsing different bits and bobs. You can see that there are gargoyles moving around the place that are appearing to be like stocking shelves and that kind of stuff. They're clearly being put to work and are in a staff kind of position here. And you make your way into the shop. You see that there are all sorts of gadgets and gizmos, weapons, armaments that all look like they might be worthwhile exploring, given money and time. Things that you are short on at the moment. And walk towards the counter, where you see this is a wizard that looks almost identical to Elrond. In fact, it looks identical to Elrond. This gentleman is in all green attire, as opposed to the red that you've usually seen Elrond in.
Welcome to Phalas's Treasures of Thentia. How can I help you today?
I want to do like an insight vibe check as
Go for
to
it.
who it is.
I want to see if it's an illusion.
Sure.
Every person we meet just like grab them and make sure that
Jesus.
Holy
14.
Plus 14 insight check.
Oro
What
has
i-
the
what
best
is it?
vibe check.
Exactly that you're looking for in your vibe check.
Like I feel like I know Elrond pretty well now. Like I've heard lots of stories
Sure.
about him. I know like I'm sure my mom's mentioned like, oh, he's got this funny little thing on his eyebrow.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
he's got this
sure.
certain smell. He's got like bizarre, his left tooth next to his one is a little bit
Okay.
funky. You know what I mean? Like some
Sure.
weird things I know about him.
So some of those things will be a little bit closer to like a perception than insight, but you certainly do know Elrond pretty well.
Yeah. Also the vibe of
and-
whether he looks at me and he's like, oh, it's Oro. I know who this
Right,
is.
he definitely does not recognize you at all.
Okay, right.
He seems like a genuine person from the few sentences that you've heard from him so far, and we'll leave this 32 on the table for a little bit. But he does not recognize you at all. You can absolutely tell with a shadow of a doubt that he has no idea. No recognition is there at all.
How can I help you today?
What type of stuff do you sell here?
Well, pretty much everything. Here we are able to cater to many magical needs. Here we have everything from tiny little magical wands for children to the most powerful tomes that we have in Suzale. Our royal courts, wizards and their war wizards, the college alike, they will all come to Phalas's Treasures of Thentia for their magic needs.
Are you Phallus?
That is me, Phalas.
Oh.
I lean over to Haiku in the back and I go, "What's Thentia?"
Do I know what Thentia is?
You can go for a cheeky little history check.
Bear in mind, Haiku's
So much
really
history.
rapidly vibrating at this point, considering doing a magical item shop with no money.
And the money they have is earmarked for a very expensive date.
Yeah.
Oh.
Lovely. Thentia's a place.
A little bit more.
Nice work.
Do I know
Thentia,
roughly where it is geographically?
the Moon
It's
Sea,
next to the Emerald
north
Spire.
region of Faerun.
It's in the north of Faerun. Place.
Oh. Okay.
Well
So
known
they're
for
northern
its
treasures.
significant portion of population spellcasting.
Ah.
Not me googling Thentia. Thank you, Forgotten Realms wiki.
Magic.
Love the Forgotten Realms wiki. There's an interactive map somewhere online.
Yeah,
I forget I used to use it.
It's fab.
So good. Anyway, continue.
Do you think they'll buy any of my crap? I mean, my valuable magic items.
Do you guys buy anything?
Well, of course, yes.
Oh. Yeah.
In desperate times.
Yeah, we have stuff maybe that we'd like to sell to you, if that's okay.
Of
Well,
course,
figure it out.
certainly. We have, we're always in the market.
I'm looking at my inventory, but I know I just have a lot of random tat, not magical tat.
Where did we put our notes about what was in the bag of holding?
I
don't. It's in the group chat, isn't it? Not in the. Okay,
Oh,
I
yeah.
can find this.
Yeah.
I can find this.
Not a new cool
funny.
D&D server.
Yeah, no, that used to always just be at the top of my Discord because that was what I talked the most in. And now we have a whole thingy. Bag of holding. Haha.
Maybe that needs to go in the important channel.
Yeah.
I thought it was pinned, but it's clearly not.
I could pin it. Pin message. Oh yeah, pin it. There we go. Now it's pinned for later. We've got. Oh, did we give the Sword of Wounding away to the devil guy?
I have no idea.
Sword of Wounding.
Which devil guy?
A devil guy.
In the prison, one of them liked to collect stuff, and we traded him for stuff out of the treasure chest of people's belongings. Or we tried to, but I think he didn't want much of what we had, and then there was a sword he liked.
What? Wait, it's ringing a bell.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
Vaguely.
Mm.
So we've got a turquoise boat hanging ornament, a bowl or vase that's engraved with skulls, a dryad wand/finger combo. We've got. Someone took the ring of protection. We've got the bandage of the blind monk. We could sell.
Yeah.
So no, do we want to? That's got a lot of, emotional attachment to it. Let's be honest.
Yeah, it might be better to let it go for that reason, though. We've got a pair of slippers of spider climbing.
Very fancy PJ set.
Very fancy PJ set.
Oh yeah.
Potentially the Sword of Wounding.
Not spider climbing. We're not using anymore, are we?
Because we might have tried to give him the sword and then he didn't take it anyway. That might be why it's still on there.
Yeah.
Let me look at my notes. Sword of Wounding.
Welcome
to the admin portion of.
I was going to say that we could have we could do this sort of off stream if you guys identify things that you want to sell, and then I categorize them and tell you how much you be getting for them.
Yeah,
perfect.
If you'd like to do that, but then I was like, oh no, they're going to go to this place that I haven't got anything prepped for. I should use this time to prep low key whilst they're doing this.
I don't call myself out on it.
Yeah, and then tell us to not do this thing that we've distracted ourselves with.
Do it. It's fine. Totally fine.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that. Because I don't have in my notes whether or not he took the sword.
Okay. Okey-dokey.
Anything cool in here to buy?
So this is gonna be the equivalent of like this isn't even like you go to a small shop and you go, have you got any of these in stock? And they go, oh yeah, I know precisely whether or not we have those in stock. Yes, no.
Okay.
This is if you go into like a dusty old bookshop where there are not neatly piled bookshelves, but stacks on stacks on stacks on stacks on stacks of stuff. It's that kind of vibe.
It's like an antique store vibe.
Yeah, precisely. So it's more of a you will have to like do some investigation checks or really try and get what you can out of Balas.
Maybe we also do that. We
We
roll and stuff upstream. Well, I have money. It's a thing. But I don't know. I don't want to spend all of
Do
our
you
time
have
shopping.
Balas's
item
treasure of Thentia money?
That's a great question. I and Nurley have no concept of what things might cost in here.
Mhm.
We'll come back to the shop later.
Okay.
On to quest for date night. Date night
Alright.
quest.
Date night quest.
Who knows? We might find some really easy money elsewhere.
Maybe on the ground. A look on the ground. £10? £10 on the ground?
1
100 gold
copper.
coins? Oh, I'll pick it up. Huh?
It's
I
such
do?
an expensive place, like 100 gold coins is just on the floor, like it's nothing.
Never know.
You know what?
It's because
Aurora,
they're
1
cursed
copper,
gold coins.
1 copper does help.
There you go. We'll be there in
Closer
no
to our
time.
target.
There are many people in this world who would be glad to have a copper. But we're adventurers, so we ruin the economy.
Okay, so we're off to the Society for Stalwart Adventurers, are we?
Yes.
Wonderful. So as you reach the door, there is a what's the word I'm looking for here? Bouncer. Coat check bouncer.
Oh, no.
Front door, who asks you a very pointed question. He says, "Hello. Can you show me your licenses, please, for entry?"
Adventuring license.
Do we know that Ithael doesn't have one? I can't remember.
I don't think so.
No, because I think we even talked about it before, and Ithael was like, "Yeah, I got all my stuff."
Yeah, I
It's
feel like
fine."
it's skirted around every time it comes
Yeah.
up in conversation.
I don't think Atheo has directly lied about not having one.
No, you've just not told the truth.
Well, you never
Yeah.
asked Atheo, do you have an adventuring license?
I think we did actually. And the answer was something like, "Do you think I would not have like everything I
I
needed,"
recall
or
this.
something like that?
Yeah,
Because I
have
think
video
it
proof of that,
specifically
probably.
came up. Yeah, I mean, there's literally a video of it somewhere. Whether or not it happened, I remember it being like we were walking along a forest pathway, like a road that was near trees, and I think we found out. No, that's not when that happened. But I remember us having a specific conversation where, out of character, it became very apparent that we were all aware that Athale did not have a license. So some kind of conversation happened. Because I
Yeah.
knew for a fact you didn't have one. That's why I was like, "Here's my license right here." And you can't tell, but I looked right at you.
Yeah, Aura gets
Anyway,
out a
so you-
license.
Wonderful. You guys can go in. He opens these doors. This is a very blocky building. It's very kind of like clear and rectangular, in like stonework, and it has this kind of portcullis almost that he pulls open, and he kind of like ushers you guys in and drops it abruptly in front of the other two who have not yet presented their licenses.
Annoyed I don't remember what happened previously now. Because my original thing was like Athale didn't even know that this was a thing.
Hmm.
It was just
Maybe
like,
that's what happened.
doesn't
We all
apply.
talked about having one. Yeah.
Yeah. No, you definitely do not have one. I can confirm.
oh
you do
no,
not
I
have
know I
one.
don't have one.
Sorry, missus, I
What?
just got back up.
We've gone in the shop, me and Nurley. You're outside with Ithael
Why am I
Mhm.
outside?
because you haven't shown your
Otherwise
license.
You didn't say your license.
Sorry, I have a license. Here it is.
All right, lad. Here you go.
Thank you. I turn around. Thale, you coming?
What colours comes down?
What is that?
An adventuring license is a license that you got that's registering you as an adventurer in the country of Cormier. You're not allowed to adventure in the country of Cormier without a Cormier license for adventuring.
And that is a new law.
No, this is an age-old law. The way that we keep a nice registry of all the adventurers alive or dead.
I see.
Can I hear this
Successful,
conversation?
Well done.
Yeah, you guys aren't far away.
That's
You are behind a portcullis.
Atheo, you have a license, don't you?
I want to incite the vibes real quick because I'm worried that we're gonna get in trouble, and I. Wait, am I inciting or perception?
You can roll your insight with your plus 14. Bring that out.
24.
You're confident that the bouncer has clocked that Atheo almost certainly does not have an adventuring license, but also that he doesn't really care. He just won't let you in. Like, you're not gonna like go to jail for not having one because this guy has no authority to like lock you away. But he does have the authority to close the gate in front of you.
Right. Okay. Then Oro says, "Okay, we'll be back out in a second. We'll just check out this real quick. So you stay.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
These guys are going to go along and investigate some of the interior. I'd like Athale to have a bit of a think about what he wants to do, and if he doesn't want to do anything specific, then I would like him to describe one conversation that he has with this bouncer. The rest of you guys, head on in. I'll even move you to the map so you can see it.
Ooh.
So you guys can see this okay?
It's loading.
I can now.
Now I can.
Wonderful. So this is the courtyard that you've entered, and as you kind of move through the main doors, you are left to your own devices. It's made very clear to you this is like a guild hall. It's kind of an open space. Whilst there are staff that are maintaining it, they tend to mostly keep their heads down. They're not necessarily here to do your bidding, but they will generally keep the space and its communal space especially looked after. This is where they'll have to do a level 1 quest in a sewer. And the rest of you guys are kind of just left to meander around if you'd like. You find yourself in this northern room where you can see that it's largely just a waiting area where you can see that there is some reading. You can hear that there are some chefs cooking away in a kitchen just to your kind of just south down here. You follow up to the next floor. And I reveal some of the mask here. There we go.
Ooh.
Come up the stairs. And eventually find yourselves in this kind of large... You hear lots of voices coming from this room to the north. You find yourself in a large chamber where you can hear lots of people are having lunch. And you can see that there are a couple of spaces on the table. There's plenty of space for you guys to sit down and have to dig into some of the meals on offer here. You can see that the tables have a menu. It's very brief, it's very short, and it's also very cheap. Almost like your membership almost, and being part of this club allows you certain benefits, and it's cheaper food here. You can see in the rooms, as you've been passing through the hallways, are filled with like relics that you can see, the old armor, battered and bruised, weapons that have been broken and shattered, have plaques, etc. Deeds of great heroes done yet in the past, that are kind of tell bits of stories and deeds of people who are long dead. You, for a moment, have a brief moment of reflection, thinking of whether or not your deeds will ever be on these walls, and whether or not you even care. As you kind of explore, you see on one of the walls up here, top left, there is a notice board. It just says "Open Work."
Reading it.
Let's have a look.
So you head on over, and as you're walking through the room, and you see the adventurers that are dotted around. There's something that strikes you quite quickly. These guys look green as hell. Like, these guys look
wondering.
new to the profession. They look like there's a good chance they've never been in a dungeon before. And there's a good chance that these guys are, the lowest of the low when it comes to experience. You walk up to the notice board, and you can see that a lot of them have it's a bit like the strips of paper that you see on, like, we would say, like, American TV shows, because I don't think I've ever really seen it in the UK, but maybe it does exist, where there's a poster and there are strips of paper off with contact details.
They're literally those like on every light pole in all of Seattle.
I've never
like,
seen one in person.
Cleaning, pet care, all kinds of stuff.
So you see that there are lots of different boards that all each have like contact details ripped off. And I hate to say it, these quests are beneath you.
Don't say
The
that.
cheap food
These
tipped me
are-
off.
Yeah, these are very much beneath you. These are things like clear out my basement of rats, that kind of thing. One of them is literally deliver this letter for me. Like, these are low stakes.
Where's the letter go? I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Did you see that?
Do you actually have it? Yeah. I mean, like, really, it's kind of like, I kind of want to explore the city. What if we pass by on the way, you know?
So one of the quests on here is it's written in like scraps of the broadsheet, like the newspaper that you've seen, that says it looks like they're trying to be like really edgy about it. It says assassinate target, and it says you're going to assassinate, murder, kill, blood, death, reward 2,000 gold. You note that none of the strips of paper with contact details have been with not contact details but like directions have been ripped off for that one.
I don't really love the idea of just killing somebody without knowing who or why. But also, doesn't this just kind of look weird? Murder, kill, blood, death? That doesn't seem like a real person's name.
It's 2,000 gold.
But who would name themselves Murder, Kill, Blood, Death?
Hi, Trash. Take a bit of luck.
I mean, I guess we could ask them.
What are the like directions? What do they say?
Yeah, the contact.
So they specifically say that they want you to meet them at. Let me find the place on the map. What is it called? The Crying Witch Inn.
Crying Witch Inn.
Like, this has got to be a trap, right?
Yeah.
They're just trying to lure people there because the witch is going to eat them or something.
Probably.
How to use the 3 seashells! Oh my god, what a reference, Cyborg!
What's that
Doesn't know how to
too?
use the shells. God, what's the name of that movie?
I got no idea.
Nope.
Demolition Man.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard of that. But I don't know.
It's like a time travel thing or something. Somebody wakes up in the future and they go to use the restroom, and next to the toilet are just 3 shells. And they're like, there's no toilet paper anywhere. And they're like, what am I supposed to do? And so they come out and the people are like, doesn't know how to use the shells.
Oh.
They refer to murder as murder, death, kill. Oh my god.
Oh.
The shells are never explained, by the way. It's maddening. Just they got high and they were like, lol, what if there were 3 shells instead of toilet paper? No one will ever know why. And that was in the movie for some reason. Like, the 90s were a wild time. Not that most of you know about that. I'm kidding.
There's another note right next to it, written in the same style, that says, hire murder, kill, blood, death, and bring him to the Crying Witch Inn.
So there's kill or hire?
Mm.
Oh. And
Oh,
It's like we
we've
get
got
to
diamonds.
choose our own adventure.
No, we've got diamonds. We could do both. Claim both rewards.
Kill them and then res them.
Impress them and then hire them.
Just saying.
If it's the same person who's offering the money, they might not pay us twice. But I guess we could ask.
It depends. Is it say kills or higher? Who knows? XR. You
Wanted, dead or alive. Okay, are we gonna do this, or and also are we gonna talk literally quietly? Are we gonna talk about the fact that everybody here is definitely just starting out?
Oh, babies.
That's why this feels like a trick.
Yeah.
They're babies.
What we need to do is we need to find the Nepo adventurers who have all this money but have never been on a quest.
They're back in Nesmith where we funded them.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's why I'm so fucking hurt.
We're the ones who have Nepo adventurer babies.
I wonder whether it's worth seeing how much your magic items would be, like if you wanted to sell them to fake Elrond.
Yeah.
This is the way that we would have got Haiku to empty off the shell,
Yeah,
selling
to go
them
on
to
a
fund a
date.
date.
Yeah.
Damn, and you know what? That would really have signaled to the rest of us. Not only was Haiku willing to part with these things and sell them, but it was for this person.
Yeah.
It'd have been like, Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay. They were not lying when they said this is the sort of person you change yourself for. Jeez.
We can sell the slippers. We can sell the I don't know, I don't think anyone's gonna want to buy a scalp.
Okay, maybe whilst you're doing that, we leave this thing, because I don't think we should take either of these. We could come back and get them if we think about them.
I mean,
And there's nothing about Sub Rosa in here at all?
Nope.
Damn, okay.
What's Sub
We
Rosa
could
about?
grab one of the little tags, anyways, to prevent us from coming back.
But is that a bad idea? Like, what if Aura's like mega paranoid? What if that like is a bad signal to say that you took it? Like, you know what I mean? Maybe we should just like write down the information and then we know it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll do
Take a
that.
picture on your phone. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Surely your gauntlet can do that, right?
I mean, I can recreate image or text.
There you go.
Take a picture on your gauntlet.
That's like one of the base artificial things they can do.
Amazing.
The
The gauntlet is just a smartphone
yeah.
that can also cast fire. Gotcha.
So whilst you guys are considering this, let's go over to Ethael.
Yeah.
What are you doing? / what conversation have you had?
So Thale has absolutely no interest in talking to his bouncer,
Wow.
and finally, it clicks as to what an adventuring license actually is, because he doesn't. It had before he'd heard about it and just assumed it was a qualification thing that people did where you went and you trained to be an adventurer, and he's like, oh,
Right.
I'm already this powerful wizard. I don't need to do that. I don't need that. I don't need that. And has never been asked to see it before or anything. But now he is, because at the Royal Courthouse, he's seen the sign where you can get an adventuring license. And so he's just going to walk off and go and get one, because it's well, I'm clearly an adventurer, so I can just go and get one.
Yeah, sure. It costs 25 gold, and it's a very easy process.
Only one form.
That's insane. I don't have to go in a sewer.
Hallelujah.
We just had to do that because we were poor at the time, you see. We didn't have anyone to sponsor us and pay the 25 gold fee.
And now that you've become innately familiar with the process and the formalities of filling in the forms of the Royal Courthouse, it was very easy to do so. This was the western wing. No, sorry, the eastern wing. The western wing was the spellcasting license registry.
Registration.
Very easy process.
That's what they also do.
Wonderful.
But I don't know what the timing will be like and whether they will come out and they will just not be there.
These guys get a very cheap lunch whilst they were inside.
Yeah, we grab a Lunchable.
Honestly, I do feel like we grabbed snacks, and then I feel like the amount of time it took us to stand there and debate whether we take this thing and whether it's a trap and why this would be here amongst all these low-level people, we come out and Athale has been back for like 2 minutes.
Whilst you're having lunch, you notice that there are a couple of people on one of the tables in the backside of the room who are looking over to you and whispering.
Do they look conspiratorial or do they look like curious?
You can see that. So there is one tiefling and 2 humans, each of them kitted out, in their leather armor with their short swords, and their adventuring pack.
Unopened, clearly.
Opened adventuring pack, labels still emblazoned on there.
The tag's still on.
Yeah. And they are looking over at you a little. They're not like conspiratorially, but they're like whispering to each other.
Do you think they're shy?
Maybe shy. Hi.
What time of day is it currently?
Hello.
Good day. Good day
You
for some
okay?
lunch.
Yep. Are you the completionists?
Yeah.
I didn't realize we were that famous.
What? Oh, I fucking told you. It was you fucking idiot. Of course it's them. The fucking biggest city in Corver. Of course they're hanging out in the fucking adventuring to find the adventurers and the adventuring fucking stuff. Of course they're right here. Oh, wow. Killing monsters, getting sick loot.
Yeah.
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 Can we join you? They're gonna pick up this tray of like soup and they sit down without waiting for you to say yes.
Oh, Norley instantly is like, sure, because she does not assume that they mean on adventure. She means like at the table.
Oh, I thought
Yeah, sit
adventure
right
is what they
down.
meant.
Oh, I thought
They
both.
just sat down next
Both,
to you.
both.
We're just joining you for lunch.
Okay, lunch.
So like you guys are sick.
Oh, thanks. Jokes.
Just a
I know
little
what that
secret
means.
flame. It's like a classic
wait,
line.
you know about
Classic.
that?
Now, if you had any advice for some adventurers just starting out, we just picked. You see, there's they've one of them is an artificer, and you can see that they've got a little. They show you a piece of paper where it looks like a print screen. They've taken a print screen sort of spell thing of the murder kill quest.
Wow, they've officially used that spell more times than I have.
We were maybe going to do this. What do you think? What tactics would we use?
We were talking about that one, and I'm just wondering why somebody would name themselves Murder, Kill, Blood, Death, or whatever.
They've got to be an idiot, right? And if they're an idiot,
Right.
then they'll be easy to kill.
Well, maybe not. Sometimes you don't have to be smart to hit hard. But I would just be kind of, I would ask a lot of questions of the person who's hiring you for this. Because it just doesn't seem, it seems a little bit like,
That's okay. I like
Not
asking
on
questions.
the
Got a
up and
lot
up.
of questions to
Yeah.
ask. No problem for
Mhm.
me.
Yeah.
Any other advice?
don't read anything aloud that you find randomly out in the world. Definitely don't do that unless you know exactly what it is and what it's going to do. Maybe
this
don't even
point,
read it in your head all the way through.
At this point,
Maybe-
Athale joins. As I'm imagining, you've shown up, realised they're not outside, and have wandered your way in. Whoa! You guys have fucking this guy too? I don't know his name.
That's a tail.
What? Oh, an Athale?
And fail. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
where do
he's
you come
the-
from? Where do
He's
Athales
one of
come
the-
from?
He's one of the 7 Athales.
Well, it's the 7 of Thales. I
Right,
don't want to be numbered.
There's a card game where you get numbers out now, apparently. So
He's actually number 2. Number 1's dead.
Oh.
Why
Wait,
not
is it
just
this?
make
Is it
number
this
one?
card game? He brings up one of the newspapers that you saw outside. On the second page is a story. And on that story, it reads... you can see there are a couple other headlines, including Leopold Kid Priaxos, magnate's grandnephew saved by adventurers, and top dungeons taking Suzale by storm. But where did they come from? And a third reads, Thieves Guild blamed once again for disappearances in Bolivar's Wharf. Sub Rosa denies claims.
Oh, is Sub Rosa a thief? I just say out loud.
Oh yeah, for sure. She's like the head of the Thieves Guild.
Oh.
And is that an official thing they have here in the city, like with a guild hall?
Yeah. They don't give out the location very well. I don't know
I
where
see.
it is.
I bet it's under the Rosa, whatever that is, because it's Sub Rosa.
I don't know. I think it's been around longer than she has.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay, never mind. So this card game came out and no one knows who made it?
Nope.
Oh, I don't like that. Maybe we shouldn't be collecting these cards.
And people have been going missing.
Yeah. But like, well, people always go missing there.
Hmm.
It's not the best part of town.
People do always go missing.
Den
But
of
if it-
Thieves kind of thing.
If it is so regular, why is it in the newspaper?
Oh, maybe it's a quest. Maybe it's a quest we should do.
I'm sorry, who are you?
Oh, we don't know their names yet, but they knew who we were.
We haven't even asked them.
Of course. Of course they knew who you were. Yes.
Jeremiah, Kindred, and Felix.
Nice to meet you.
It's a pleasure to meet you guys too. I'm such a big fan.
That's so fun.
So the whole laying low thing, are you still doing that?
We said we
Or-
weren't doing that.
Yeah.
But
Maybe don't bring
There's
it
a
up
difference.
right now.
Oh, we can tell nobody. Keep us quiet. We can keep it quiet.
Yeah.
We will be.
Yeah.
Nothing at all. We will
Yeah.
be so quiet.
Yeah.
So sick. So sick. Wow.
Do you have any adventuring advice for them, Ithael? I said not to read anything out loud. If they didn't know what it did.
don't die.
That's
Good one.
so wise.
Good one.
Yeah.
So
Kill
wise.
before you are killed.
Also,
Try
No.
talking first.
Know the terms of the deal.
know the
Yes,
terms of the
that's important.
deal.
In terms of the deal. Big one.
Under what circumstances should I know that? Every circumstance?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
As much as you can. Always know as much as you can.
even
Okay,
the
okay.
unspoken deals.
Oh.
Mm.
Any
Like
adventure-
us having a deal with you to not say anything.
Mm.
I mean, the terms are just our appreciation. We're not going to do anything to you if you publicly
Oh.
saw us.
You don't have any like
Well,
you don't want to be like our like patron. You know, we could do with a little bit of something to help us get going.
Fortunately,
Have
I'm
you-
in a position to be giving out money at the moment.
Yeah, we just went to the gacha porn store and we're not looking so hot. We were
Oh, did
looking
you get some
for
mud?
Yeah, I got like 3 things of mud. You're like, it's all the mud. I was like, well, let's-
Wow.
Yeah.
That's the one I haven't got yet.
Oh my god, do you want one?
Yes.
Okay, I'll give you one. Here you
It kind of like etches into it. Oro's mud.
go.
But you just given it to him. You could have sold it.
No, it's fine. I'd have
Not all
money.
of us are trying to take somebody out on a date for a grand. Haiku.
I have money.
Wolf, Pearl has expensive taste. You've seen what she dresses like.
Yeah, great. I don't want to woo-hoo her.
You know what I am going to give them, actually? I'm going to pull out the carefully wrapped cookie that was a good berry that I got out of mine, the single one. Because they look like a rogue and an artificer, and what was the other one?
So
like
as
leather
far as you're
armor
aware, at least
sheath.
only one of them was a rogue because they had leather armor and a short sword. An artificer because they'd clearly used some kind of artificer ability. And let's say a cleric.
Oh, cleric. I'm gonna pull out the cookie. Say, actually, this was really useful. This would probably help you. Hopefully, you never have to use it. Hopefully, it just goes completely stale in your pack. But if not, then it'll be helpful. I'm sure it still has the tag on it, so it'll explain to them that it's a functionally a good berry. Yada yada.
I like
I'm
to
gonna
think
delete
they're
that from my
looking at it
inventory.
and they're just thinking, you've given one cookie to 3 people.
Share.
You want?
I definitely left the tag with it.
Oh my god, thank you so much. So much. We'll give this to our healer. And they pass it over to Felix, who is the second human with a holy symbol of Lathander around their neck.
If
Will
I might
use
make a
this
suggestion.
Gift solemnly. I will use it in the Lord's light. I will use it only to spread hope amongst his children.
Oh,
Good-
that's
yeah,
really
good.
serious.
Yeah, you did good.
Fuck
Yeah, that was good. That was believable. Nice.
Oh, were they like trying? Okay, I see. I personally like for everyone else to hold on to the potions because if I'm the healer, then I can take care of them without needing that for the most part. But then if something happens to me, then they need to be able
Great
to help.
advice.
That's good advice.
I will take this advice very solemnly. I will consider it a gift from the Lord Lathander himself. As you know, his light shines on us all.
Yeah, I mean, you could maybe speed
You know
it up.
Okay. Valid criticism.
I think we'll do this off camera, obviously, but Nurali is genuinely trying to learn about other gods, and she will absolutely strike up a conversation.
Sure.
We could do it in character too, but I don't think it's necessary with this particular person. But she will ask him about Lathander. Absolutely.
Sure. You guys have a wonderful little conversation.
Love
But
it.
we will end our game there.
Yes.
Thank you very much, everybody, for playing. Thank you very much for anyone that was watching. If you want to now spend some time now or over the next week or so looking at items in your inventory that you want to try and sell, that would be a good thing to do. Give me some time to look at sort of prices that would be fair. And you don't have to accept my prices for everything if you want to hold on to them, but you're not going to get full price. They have to make money back.
If we had to search our history to even find what we had in the bag of holding that we're not using, we could probably get rid of it for less than it's worth because we didn't even remember that we had it.
Valid. Okay. Alrighty then. In which case, sorry for pulling on your on Dane's horse's name. How could you? But
that's why Jeremiah sounds familiar to me.
I think it was actually Jeremy, but
it was Jeremy, yeah.
it was just Jeremy.
That's what it was.
I forgot.
But yeah, but Jeremiah's the
Jeremiah's pretty close.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Right. We'll call it quits there. GG's.
Yeah, GG's.
Ooh.
Let us do a
Do a
little.
triple finger heart.
Oh my god, you've mastered it. Shit. Okay, let's do a raid for these people. They're also playing D&D. If you'd like to come by and spam some hearts, that'd be appreciated. We should be seeing you next week, I think. I think we're all good for next week.
I think so.
I think so, yeah.
We might pause when I click this end screen, so if you'd like to do a pause, now's time. Oh, I didn't pause. Wow.
Wow.
That's crazy.
It
Alright.
always doesn't do it when we're prepared.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh god. Yeah. All right. Well, see you next week, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.